fantastic.
And then I think at the same time I bought a it was one of the new series Ava units, the second series Ava units, and it also comes with like fucked up heads where you can take the head off and put in one that's got like a blade stuck in it. Oh, it was so cool. So I can get that back in there just right. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I had to bust it out for this. It might even just stay there. I don't even know now. Right now.
So did you watch the anime we will be talking about today?
I mean, I've seen the. I mean, I'm currently in the middle.
On the other one. Did you watch Records of Ragnarok yet?
No, I haven't. I had to rewatch Army of the Dead, and I'm in the middle of watching the new version of Evangelion. But just if it gets brought up. Oh, well, the Spirit of Lone Giant. It should be Longinus, right?
Yeah, the Spirit of Longinus.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it, how hard is English?
It does strike me as a little like... Yeah.
Longinus.
He's got a long ginus, if you know what I mean. No, we don't know what you mean.
No,
it's weird. Why are you saying it like that?
What does it fucking mean?
What's a longinus?
It's provocative. It gets the people going. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It just makes people confused.
Not a quick trip for me. I'm always confused. I just adapt a little bit easier, so. Yeah, no, that's really impressive. No, it's more like when your friends start talking about a series that you know nothing about, and you have to like fake your way through. You just like politely nod.
Dude,
and go, oh yeah, yeah, no, I've been there, yeah.
My wife was in a book club, and I went with her to their first meeting. And I asked her about the book she was reading, and just got the like a 20-minute car ride rough clip notes of it. It wasn't even every detail. And so we go meet at this Bob Evans, and I led the whole fucking conversation.
Wait, what? Wait, you knew nothing about the book?
I didn't even read the book, and I led the discussion. And Blake was...
Oh my god.
Like, I told them like 2 weeks later, like, yeah, I didn't even read the book. It's like, excuse me? It's like, I actually just gave you the cliff notes, and I just made inferments about certain things.
I think you might be my hero now. I'm not sure.
Well, fun fact about me, my house monochrome is a hummingbird, so that's what we do.
Oh, Blake, quick question before we get rocking and rolling. How's our audio doing? Yeah? Okay. Hey, you changed the startup screen. I thought we were never getting rid of the pumpkin scene. Oh. Okay, fair enough. I like it. We gotta get a hold of Zelda and have her like try to commission her to get some updated art. I mean, I love our artwork, but we need to up it a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Well, I've got the stream pulled up too. I didn't know if I should. Did I just leave it up? Just the stream pulled up too. I didn't know if I should. Hang on a second. Did I just leave it up? Yeah, I do, but we are. Hang on a second. I am super low. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? I'll keep an ear on it when we start up, and I'll just give you a signal like, hey, I'm kind of low or whatever. That way you can focus on hosting and all that. I'm getting tired of hosting shows, guys. I can only do so much. Come on. I know. I got a problem, man. I got a problem. I'm sorry. I just found my new favorite drink of all time right now. Frozen Minute Maid lemonade. It's wonderful. But it's the same channel. Oh. Well, I thought he was a member of that's it, yeah. You want to send him a message or something, or I can? Theoretically. And again, I'm not sure how gravity works thanks to that book, so yeah. Which
So we've established here that it takes an Alma to defeat a Teresa.
You know what? I think
right?
That is a safe assessment. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So we need an Alma level threat to defeat Teresa.
I don't know. Hang on. What's a team of what?
A team of extraordinary gentlemen.
You've been invited to a Twitch team? Who?
Oh my god, Blake is finally entering the world of Resident Evil speedruns! He's gonna be doing Carsey level videos here real soon.
And I'll just be relegated to hot tub streams, so yeah.
It's cool, I'll be dressed as a lifeguard in the background.
Oh my god, I'll
be your VTuber hot anime lifeguard.
Is it weird I kind of want that to happen now? That sounds kind of awesome and hilarious.
I'm telling you, sexy male VTuber is an untapped market. Get into it.
I'm trying, but right now I think I would only have like one guaranteed fan. So there we go.
Oh man, you would blow the fuck up.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We are apparently very popular over in like European countries, so maybe I don't know. We are
I mean,
more
fine.
popular.
I'm
Yes.
just letting you know if you do the hot anime man thing, know that your fans will probably be yaoi fangirls. So as long as you're okay with that, you'll make big.
Okay, look, yeah. Look, if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna pick who I dress up like, and that's going to be Colonel Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist. I'm gonna have like the golden mustache, and I'll have to like shave my head, but that's what I got. But I gotta find the gauntlets. You know, this popcorn sounded like a really good idea when I saw it in the convenience store, but it's
Should've got pork rinds.
I should have gotten pork rinds. They had like barbecue pork rinds. I'm like, oh, those sound really good, but nah. I'll just keep on chewing on the potato logs that I got. No, usually I log in my start time and my end time for work, but yeah. No, actually, I'm just logging. They have been pissed at me
just
because
carve the time onto the potato. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
They're
I
done
don't
with
get
it. They just make food out of it. It's not wasteful.
I don't get an actual time card. It's just a potato that I have to. Yeah, I just leave it on the desk. At the end of the week, it's got the eyes and shit growing out of it. They are really pissed with me. But they accepted it at
environmentally friendly.
Exactly, and they were more happy about the potato than when I try and stuff a potato into the punch machine. So, yeah, it's fine. God. Yeah. I can come up with shit on the fly.
I can. How much of a degenerate am I allowed to be? Just my username. Everybody who knows me by my username just calls me Swim.
Yeah, I know I have. Or I call you Snipe too, because I think Snipe just sounds awesome. But that's just. Ooh. Alright. Man, I'm so happy that we're doing this. It's been so long since we've done just a bullshit podcast, man. I'm so excited. We'll do fine.
Last one was fantastic.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I should probably bring up the moderator screen for the stream so I can take care of that shit. I completely forgot about that. There we go. Oh, and I can also see the chat room now too. Awesome. All right. You don't like it? Oh. Sorry, the way you came through, it just kind of sounded like you were annoyed. Actually, I found a video that like an hour and a half long of royalty-free cyberpunk style music, and I'll send you the link. It's great, and all they ask for is that you just credit them for whatever you're using, and it's good to go. I'll send you the. Oh, nice. I'll send you the link. Great.
Radio, the most random thing in the world.
It works. Oh. And
It works surprisingly well. I found a Fallout radio station once where it was just music from all the Fallout games.
Oh, starting up.
Whoa, that don't look right. Let me fix that.
Oh, what did you do, Blake?
I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it right now.
Off to a great start.
God damn. Spectacular. Everybody came here for this. You know what, screw it. Okay.
At least you got the mics going. That's a start. That's better than me.
We're just gonna let that hang out there, and then we're gonna erase the rest of that window, and then stretch to screen. There we go. Everybody's gonna look a little warped here. That does not look good. Undo that.
Hey, try taking the actual window and shrinking down a little bit, and then readjust it in OBS. Because I've run into that a few times.
I'm just gonna go ahead and center us, and then make us taller. Yeah, that'll do. Well, we'll get a better setup eventually. Right now, it's just sort of how it is. I have to split my screen that way so that I can use the other part of my monitor and still look at you guys in the camera. Well, with that crazy shit out of the way, hello everybody. Welcome to the Blake and the Casual podcast. I am Blake. Obviously, you can see the name of the channel down there. It says Blake and the Casual. And right underneath me, conveniently, is my casual, Jim. Say hello, buddy.
Hi, I'm the Casual, aka Jim the Casual. You may have seen me in other shows associated with this channel up above me. Part of the International Book Club, Casual Fridays, Mischief Monday, and a lot of other random shit that I get into. Happy to be here. I'm happy to be bringing back the original podcast where all this shit started up, man. Great.
It's all good stuff.
Love it. Oh, and who's that below me?
Well, that's Swim Sniper.
Hello, everyone. I'm Swim Sniper 25. You might know me as a regular channel member, overall degenerate in the chat. Nice to meet some of you. You might remember me from last week's episode where I was that Ava nerd.
You got your waifu in the bottom of your screen.
Hey, he's in good company. I've got mine right here, front and center. So yeah, we're good.
I don't need that. I'm a real man.
You just have your D&D table set up behind you.
Oh yeah, that's what real men do. They play Dungeons and Dragons. Ask Joe Manganiello. Okay.
Can't argue with that, can I?
I am fixing audio.
So, oh wait, is our audio okay? I mean,
Kat says you guys are a little quiet. There you go. How's that, Kat? Guys need to talk.
Check, you check.
My official weeb status here.
Official.
Is that a Virgil sword?
No, this is a replica sword from a character in Bleach, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I just noticed the
I'm
blue
sure-
handle, and I seem to remember
They
Virgil
could
having.
probably be able to tell you who it is off the top of his head, possibly.
Yeah.
That's not Hitsugai's, is it? I can't.
It is.
Okay, it's like the wrapping looks familiar.
It's a replica of Head Captain Hitsugai's.
Okay. So for International Book Club, I need a bunch of hats. For this, I need to bring out the Master Sword. Fuck, I'll remember that for next time. Thanks, guys. Glad you gave me a heads up.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Clearly, Blake keeps the Keyblade on deck at all times. You never know.
Oh, of course he does.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. I can see it. I remember when you got that too. So Blake,
All right.
what's the whole point of this show? What are we doing here?
So the real purpose is that we're just gonna come here and have a general discussion forum, which is gonna work out for us way better than a lot of the other shit. I'm gonna tweak one more thing in audio real quick. Give me just a second. Increase that output to about 90. There we go.
Cat's got a Highlander sword.
Ooh, that is nice. Oh yeah, that
Because there is only one.
that changed it a lot. There we go. That's good stuff. You guys are
There we
coming in the
go.
same level that I am now. Okay.
Doing a lot better. Awesome.
So this is a general discussion show. If you follow us on our Discord, which the link should be below the channel, and also if you type in the command for our Nightbot in the chat, he will immediately provide you with said link to join if you should so choose.
Good.
You should. There is a channel inside there that we have specifically for the podcast that we're doing right now. Anybody can come in and submit discussion topics, and actually can feel free to join in on the show sometimes from the TV show. Nice. So today specifically, I wanted to go ahead and give my remarks because the last podcast that you guys did, which was technically a Blake and the Casual, was on Jim's channel, and it did not feature me in it, which was fucking hilarious.
In my defense, it started as a random discussion, and then it turned into Senpai Sunday, and now it's returning to true form.
Now it's returning to true form. Now it's back to how it was.
Episode 0.
Yeah,
That was
so
season
what,
0.
but we're jumping right to that. You don't want to like build up the pressure just a little bit before we jump right into the rage mode for you, because I know we pissed you off.
Oh,
I know
you.
that we made you super angry.
Yes, you absolutely did, because you guys were like, no, we know what we're talking about. And then immediately for fucking 15 minutes, you're like, what angel was that? Was it this one? Was it this one? I don't even remember that one. That one doesn't make any sense. I'm just like, you guys.
Okay. To be credit, their names are in Latin, and I have slipped since then. I had 1,001 other details to remember, other than what was the specific name of the specific angel that gave the specific character this one 2-minute psychological breakdown.
And then you fuckers are just like, no, hang on, let me Google it. Let me Google it.
I'm raising my hands away from this. I did not want it to go here this soon, this fast, okay? I didn't want this to happen. I was going to be like, hey, let's lead in. Let's talk about some other stuff. And then just kind of gradually...
No. We start with the rage and then we go back to the stuff. I'm getting my wrappings around my hand now so that I can fucking punch you in the face.
Those hair ties?
Yes, those are hair ties.
Okay.
So it won't be the last.
So for starters, you guys only look at things in terms of an academic viewpoint, which is nice if we're only having a regular discussion about things, but that's clearly not what was happening, because two of you were like, I haven't actually watched Ava in like X amount of years. I remember this part, I remember that part, and I'm like, you can't have a scholarly discussion when you don't remember half of the fucking plot of the show that you're talking about.
And we remember the major plot points and basically most of the overall arcing themes.
But the major plot points aren't actually what mattered to a lot of what you were discussing. It was the small stuff that wasn't really important that impacted things.
I knew the details. I knew the details. I had to convince the other two that I knew the details.
So, y'all are in here like, it only matters whether or not you decide whether Shinji and Asuka fuck, or that everything is about psychology in total. And I'm like, well, that's great, but it completely and entirely removes the character that you're viewing from the lens of Shinji and the growth that he experiences as a human person, and the other characters as human people, except for Rei, who is clearly not a human people, but like whatever the fuck that's supposed to be.
You mean person?
No, she's people.
She's a person.
She's people. She's multiple people.
Technically, there is technically only one Rei active at one time. The rest are soulless clones that don't actually have any agency at all.
They respond to the name Ayanami.
Or sense of self.
The current Rei, the actual singular living Rei, is imbued with the essence of Lilith from First Impact. So, thus, there can only be one Rei at a time. Yes, there are multiple Rei bodies, but there's only one Rei.
Then how do the multiple Rei bodies that don't have a soul respond to the name Rei Ayanami?
It's kind of like, you know...
They're trained that way. It's like training a puppy.
They're not trained. They're literally floating corpses.
Like,
They
you
don't
have to
have
remember to
self,
breathe.
though. They don't
Same
understand
thing.
what they are.
They don't understand what they are, but they know their name.
They know their name because that's what they're told.
Who told them that? Do you really think that Gendo just walks down here when there's a living Rei up there and is like, you are Rei Ayanami. You are Rei Ayanami.
There's a... Oh my... Oh,
That's not how that works. Yeah, no. Like,
I'm not going to get triggered. I told myself I wasn't going to do this today.
it's not
You're in the wrong podcast for that.
Come on.
There is no Wusa. There's only war.
There's only Zool. Okay.
So, beyond that, there are no happy endings. Every ending in Ava is actually a bad ending. Every single one of them. Because
Not all of them.
all of them.
I would disagree. I would disagree with that.
You haven't even heard the point yet. You're just saying that I'm wrong.
I disagree. I said I disagree. I did not say you're wrong.
I haven't even, I just said there are no good endings, and you're like, you're wrong. And I'm like, but I haven't even explained it yet. You fuckers.
Okay.
Fundamentally, on the level that it exists as a human being, forcing a collective change on the entirety of the human race is ethically completely stupid. You cannot make this... Gendo makes the choice for the entirety of the human race that it is better for all of us to be one person, when I could have spent literally 5 minutes talking to my son as though he is a human being instead of a thing that just exists here and reminds me of my dead wife sometimes.
Okay, counterpoint. The actual instrumentality project was not originally Gendo's idea. It was Seilei's idea.
And Gendo hijacked it because Seilei's version of it is to trigger the third impact, and Gendo's version of it is to try to save humanity and make everybody understand one another.
They both have the same goal, is that Gendo wanted to take goal from Seilei and mold it to what he wanted.
Yes, which is why they do have two separate goals, because one of them saves all of the people, and one of them kills all of the people.
No, Seilei's end goal was to
kill everyone.
Then where do all the people go if they turn into a primordial ooze and there's only 2 remaining human beings and there's no plot past that point? Where do they go?
That's okay. Hold on, Jim. Do you want to take over here?
I can try. Nindo's main goal was to try and reunite himself with his wife. Now, from what he understood, basically, like, all souls were going to be collected into this ocean, and he got that information from Sele. Sele's original goal was to do instrumentality, which was turning everybody into Orange Tang. Okay, we'll move on from that one. So, basically, if Sele had their way, everybody still turns into Orange Tang, a giant ocean of Tang. Endo's plot was to manipulate it so that him and his wife would actually be together again. He couldn't guarantee that that would actually happen if Sele went through with their plan, so he had to
Okay, so following through with the explanation that you've just given me right here, you're saying you have 2 different options. One of them is to turn everybody into Orange Tang, and one of them is to not do that and meld every living person into one being with no physical corporeal body, which is not an ocean of Orange Tang, but is a collective...
Okay, Jim, tag me in, coach. Tag me in, coach. Okay, so instrumentality, he got half of it right. The whole collective unconsciousness part is the idea that the human race will ultimately be saved and it will end all conflict. The idea of them turning into Orange Tang, that's just like a physical metaphor for the whole idea.
It's a physical metaphor.
The Orange Tang is essentially the idea of heaven, basically. There's no suffering in heaven, there's no pain, there's none of that stuff. Okay, so Sele's original goal is to cause the 3rd impact, which would result in humanity transcending into heaven, uniting as one collective consciousness, similar to a hive mind, and there would be no more suffering. The human race is saved because there is no more suffering, there is no more pain, there is no more confusion.
And there is no counterpoint to any of that exists in the series that would lead anybody to believe that that's a good idea.
This is why there is an interpretation at the ending that is the happy end. Shinji, when he is having his mental breakdown in this conversation with everyone, while he is going through instrumentality, chooses to reject instrumentality, which means he ultimately chooses to be human. He chooses his humanity. He chooses his individual self. Yes, it sucks being people sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to hurt people. Sometimes people are going to hurt me. It's just better for...
But then why is Shinji and Asuka the only ones that get to make that choice? Why does no other human person get to make that choice?
Okay, thing is that when Shinji decides that it's better to be individuals, he's leaving the choice to every person that's still part of the instrumentality.
That's not shown.
Yeah, that's the point.
No, that's not the point. That's a bad point. That is an awful way of showing that that is actually what's happening. The only thing that is presented is that Shinji and Asuka are the only 2 people that chose that.
Yeah.
There's nobody else on the entirety of the billions of people that still are alive on this planet that said, you know what? I don't want to become Orange Tang. That seems really fucking stupid.
So what you're saying is free will is a bad thing?
You didn't get a choice. It's not presented as anybody else got a choice because you don't even know if anybody survived besides those 2 people.
So it's presented that everybody else didn't get a choice?
It's not presented that way to me.
It is presented that way because it all happens and they all die and turn into Orange Tang before Shinji escapes the Ava. The entire...
Oh, wait.
No, you have a counterpoint? Go ahead. Show me the massive amount of proof that you have that everybody got a choice and they didn't just immediately get murdered by Rei, which is what I fucking watched.
They didn't get murdered, though.
They did.
They didn't get murdered.
The only person who got murdered was Masato because she got whole blown in half.
That's true.
Yes, the only one was Masato and not this...
Because he wasn't allowed to be part of instrumentality. He was rejected.
Yeah, no, there was that, wasn't there? Yeah. And no, they didn't get the rest of the human rest of the planet didn't get murdered. They got transformed.
So you're telling me that everybody got a real choice there. There wasn't anything that forced them to do that, and there is no evidence that you can present to me that they got to choose. But they definitely got to choose.
No, when they got changed into the LCL Ocean, they didn't have a choice. Their choice now that's available to them is to whether or not they want to become individuals again, because it's literally the entire human race is one single being now. Except that Shinji and Asuka decided to, Shinji rejected that, and I guess to a point kind of drugged Asuka back with him.
So then you're saying Asuka didn't get a choice?
I don't know about that.
That is the largely debated point.
Yeah, but
so then
Blake's whole argument is the thing is, Blake's whole argument is actually entirely valid to a whole like separate interpretation. Like Blake's interpretation is not entirely wrong. That's the thing. Like that's kind of the point here that I was trying to make last episode, is that the way people have been interpreting it is just part of the fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you look at a thing that is contentious like this, you have to interpret it in more than one lens for it to be, you know, like wholly, like consumable as a good source. Like only looking at it through a single lens, like whether or not Shinji and Asuka fuck, is wholly like missing the point.
Bad example. That was an attempt at an example of like partially humor, but like way people that's just an example of like the way people have been interpreted, like.
But that leads specifically into the argument of whether or not it's all about the psychology of growing up.
Well, that is like a interpretation.
Yes.
When I initially brought that up, I was only trying to bring up like popular, like some of the more popular or widely accepted interpretations.
Plus, our original
That makes
question.
sense.
Our original question wasn't like the interpretation of psychology. It was what camp you actually focused your point of view of the show on, whether it was from a psychology side of things or a religious side of things. My argument was that the movie really hammered in the religious side of things as being the basis of the story to me, with like elements of psychology being brought in to flesh out the rest of the story. And then there's the blatant, you know, pasting of all the religious icons and names throughout the rest of the series, like the Magi. All the angels have religious names. All the talk about souls.
But you have one particular way that you choose to view the entirety of the show through. Yes or no?
For the
you as an individual.
I'm getting there. The basis of the plot, according to what I believe, was Hideki Anno's mindset at the time, was that he was going through a lot of depression at the time. Like he had 2 failed series that he tried to get off the ground that got just nixed right off the bat. And he finally got approval to do the series. I think this was kind of like his way of like handling his own personal issues, and I believe it was coming more of like from a religious salvation type of thing, and he got onto that path, thinking about like, you know, God's a savior and things like that. And then he started working in psychology to try and explain the character motivations inside the show, which ended up working pretty well. I just think it was based more on the religious side of things.
So, do you agree with that, Swim? Or do you see it more in the psychological aspect camp?
Me personally, my interpretation leads more into the psychology of things, and my general interpretation I've chosen to accept is that life sucks, trauma breaks people, and sometimes we don't often think of how that affects those around us. Because there is not a single character in the entire show, not a single character, who isn't dealing with some form of, like, grief or trauma.
I honestly wish that the show had taken more time to express more about Rey / Lilith than it did, because the fact that it waits so long through the show, because like Asuka does not become a character for 13 episodes, I think. Asuka's not even in the show.
She doesn't show up until like episode 8.
Okay, I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong on the episode count.
You don't really see significant character growth until later in the series, where Shinji starts to kind of like come into his own.
But I'm trying to start, like, you only have Shinji for the first 4 episodes. Like, Rey does not do anything until episode 5, because that's when Unit 0 has been repaired.
Yes.
But then you have 3 straight episodes of development, which is not for Shinji, but is supposed to be for Rey, but Rey has nothing.
Well, that's because she's, like, from the origin of her character in, like, story-wise, like, in universe, and she literally is a blank slate. That's her purpose. So,
I don't agree with that.
I've always interpreted her character entirely differently, though.
I mean, that's how I interpret it.
Okay, I wanna bring up one particular scene real quick before you move on with this, Jim.
Actually,
There's one specific section during the clash with Kaworu, where
like at the very end.
it's before everything goes to shit, but it's close to the very end. Yes.
I know what scene he's talking about, but go on.
So as they're coming down and they've made it down to the base chamber where the body of Lilith is still kept at.
I guess as the two Avas are fighting.
As the two Avas are fighting, Kaworu is standing over, floating nearby the body. There is a platform that Rey is standing on, and Rey and him exchange a particular look, and she looks like a smug bitch. The only time that she has had real emotion on her face in the entire show, and then there's nothing to show you why that would be a thing, because they don't ever really reference it before or explain it after. It's just Rey has powers connected to this, and like I'm talking about the first watching the show. I'm not talking about deep lore here.
No. She showed emotion earlier.
She showed emotion.
I get what he's trying to say. The specific emotion in general comes off
the smugness part.
Yeah, because she knows who he is and why he's there, and that she's going to win the fight.
I'll be honest, I don't remember the smirk.
No, I know exactly what he's talking about, and that interpretation is that she already knows what Kaoru is going to do, or she has an idea. She basically knows that Kaoru's not going to actually destroy humanity, because he has learned to like love Shinji, and by extension of that, love humanity.
Yes, but then that
she's going to sacrifice himself. That's why she's being a smug.
That shows to me that she had more to herself than to be a blank slate all the time.
And to be fair, to bring, because you brought that up, this is the second clone. This is because Rey has already died up until this point.
Rey died before Shinji ever met her.
And this is the third clone.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, the second clone is the one that Shinji meets outside in episode 1.
She detonated on the ankle.
Yes.
Yes.
This is that clone.
Yeah.
That clone still has old Rey number 2's emotions, just doesn't understand why. Because effectively, she's gonna do whatever Shinji wants at this point.
So they have how the Rey clones work.
It's not very well stated, but like
How the Rey clones work though is they inherit the emotions, and is it some or all of the memory and not necessarily any of the context?
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Is it like Assassin's Creed where the memories are genetic?
Because that's why she cries and doesn't understand why she's crying.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like genetic memory. Like, I know it's a bullshit concept, but
Oh no, it's Genova.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Like that is 100% an accurate analogy.
So like if for anybody in the chat that doesn't understand that, it's a Final Fantasy VII reference, and Genova is an alien that has had cells taken from her and put into other beings. All of them are connected on like a mimetic level So like they have knowledge shared between them, and the main body of Genova, or the dominant part, which could be interpreted as Sephiroth in the terms of the game, can manipulate and control other people that have those mimetic cells inside of them. And that's a good way of looking at it. Honestly, I'm surprised that didn't happen before.
100% perfect way of looking at it.
Yeah, that actually does kind of clear up a lot.
Because by that logic, Genova is a perfect analogy for Lilith.
Yeah.
Oh, Nelso, this is not the time for fake ghosts.
Minus the whole Lilith creating humanity part, that is a very one-for-one analogy.
So what I would have, I'm gonna pivot here for a sec. What I really would have wanted out of this is a little bit more context to the preamble of things. I understand it. For the time of the release of the show, it had more impact in the fact that nobody knew what was going on or why anything was happening until the end. But most of the things that are referenced are the second impact, and they reference it frequently in the background, but never actually informing you of what happened, except in a few flashbacks of people that were there, which is mostly Misato, or the one episode where Gendo is talking to people before things went wrong.
Also, you can't. Yes, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of stuff that was kind of left a little vague.
That's why
they just outright didn't have the budget to show that stuff.
And that's where I was getting at. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on with the production of this show.
But they didn't even put it in the movies.
What?
They didn't even put it in the movies.
I know, but
it was kind of an irrelevant detail at that point. But at the same time, I get what Blake is saying.
Yeah, but during the actual production of the series itself, Anno blew through 75% of his budget, halfway through of.
Oh.
There's a reason the first episode looks as good as it does.
Yes, exactly, and there's a reason why in episodes 24 and 25 there are hand-drawn pictures.
Oh, they didn't have the budget to animate it. Yes, they just did the story works.
That's why we got the elevator scene the way we did, boys.
Complicated Gaming says, imagine if the show.
What was it, 42 seconds of just them sitting there with one frame of animation for a series?
So that's another thing that bothered me so much. I know it's just purely because of the budget, but then they have some of the scenes I think it's episode 6 where Shinji is I'm never piloting an Eva again, and he goes to the train, and then he doesn't get on the train, and then it's just him and Misato staring at each other for a full 25 seconds with the train talk in the background for the next train arriving at X place that is going to this place and is blah blah blah. I'm just why? Why is this here? Just shorten your episode. Don't even put this in there.
The specific scene was very French foreign film. And we ate that shit up. Especially if you watched that tsunami at the middle of the night. You ate that shit up.
Give me more. Yeah. Give me that more. God damn it.
It's like when you realize Shinji was being watched the whole time he was being homeless. And they kind of scooped his ass up the whole time.
Okay, I gotta make a reference to a thing because it's another thing that's trying to trigger me. Complicated Gaming says, imagine if the show decided to put in fake ghosts, and I raise you the controversial thought, that is exactly what Ray is.
Fake ghosts?
He's trying to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake. He was mad during my stream yesterday.
No, it's hilarious because Ray's whole point in the plot is to make sure instrumentality happens the way Gendo wants.
Yeah.
So there is an argument to be made that she is low-key manipulating things.
Low-key, yes.
Gendo's will. Shinji decides to be nice, and she's I'm feeling things, and I like this. I like him because he makes me feel good.
So I'm not gonna let you put your body inside me, Gendo, because that's weird.
Okay.
Get your hand out of my rib cage, please. You know what? Go to horny, Jill. You can't go to heaven now.
Go ahead, Jim.
The very first time I saw that scene where Ray's just gas nude and Gendo's just boob touch. And it's just kind of where the fuck is this going? Because I hadn't. Yeah, stranger danger. I had missed the part where they had shown that the
Yep.
I guess I just spaced it entirely. So I'm like, see what happens, and he just puts his hand out. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? She's like 12 or 14 or whatever.
She's an immortal, ageless cloned being of an ancient angelic entity.
Right. I'm 14 years old. How long have you been 14?
Since the dawn of creation.
Well, I don't. Yeah. So like the first time I saw that scene, I'm like, I had no idea what was going on, and I got more uncomfortable than Shinji spanking it over Asuka's unconscious body. Like,
Yeah. Oh god.
I want that scene.
I don't know, man. As uncomfortable as that was,
Oh.
nothing will ever be as uncomfortable when Masato's just like, I know no other way to cheer you up, and she just runs out the room, and you're just like, oh shit, that's weird.
That was like, you can interpret that as she's trying to forge a human connection but has no bearing in knowing how to do that, and like she's just trying to hold his hand, or you can read into it that she, like, you read into her character towards the end where she admits, I want to be dirty and I want to be a whore because it makes me feel further away from things that hurt me as a child.
Yeah.
And so this is the only way I know how to comfort you.
Yeah, which does go back to the ecology argument about the entirety of the show. But
it is literally her negative coping skill.
Yeah.
This is literally her negative coping skill.
Swim and I have already had this
That's
discussion.
literally what led to the theory that Asuka and Shinji bang when she starts when Asuka comments, is she gonna turn out like Masato?
Oh, that's the thing.
Yo, some guys like lollies.
Is this real? Is this not real?
But on top of that, the real thing that I find umbrage with is the fact that the world seems less realistic to me. Just to me, this is a personal thing. You guys can feel free to disagree with that. Based on purely the fact that no single character that you meet throughout the entirety of the show has the emotional health to communicate to any other person. There is no, like, the only exclusionary that you can put in there is maybe Kaworu, but he's not a human, technically.
Right.
No, I'd say Kaji isn't.
Kaji doesn't have the emotional maturity to actually communicate to people effectively because he can't ever tell people who he really is. You see that in the conversations that he has with Shinji, where he's like, men and women can never actually understand one another. The characters that make up the word woman in Japanese literally mean foreign person, basically.
Yeah,
Like,
but then there's the scene where he's talking to Shinji during the battle with Ava Unit 3, I believe. No, not 3. The angel with the wooden arms.
The angel with the arms is attacking, I believe that's Unit 0. Because Asuka can't synchronize with Ava 2 anymore at that point.
No, it's not that one. It's the scene where Shinji. Oh no, it's right after he fought Unit 3, and he found out that
he almost killed his friend.
His friend, and he's like, "I'm done. Fuck y'all. I'm out." And he sees that. The next angel has shown up, is attacking the city, and
has already trashed the other two pilots.
Trashed everything, and there's.
Oh yeah, because that's the famous scene where he goes running into Nerve and he says, "I'm Shinji Ikari, the pilot of Ava Unit 1.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my way, Dad." Like.
Yeah. Well, there's a scene before he actually runs back into the center where Kaji is watering melons, and by the way, best line in the whole. Watering his garden. Best line in the whole series. I'd rather have my head in between Masato's melons, but there you go. Best line in the series.
Yeah, I can't fight with that one.
That was awesome. But that moment where he's actually telling Shinji, like, hey, this is all I can do right now. I don't have the power to actually do anything about this. You do though. So make your fucking choice. He's basically telling Shinji, look. I know my place in this universe. You know what you can do. This is all I'm capable of. You can man up. I thought that was a very wonderfully written and like pretty powerful, like emotional scene coming from Kaji. I don't think he's emotionally void because he has to hide everything. I think he knows exactly what he needs to say in the time is right.
Was what Blake's
Yeah.
Is that it?
I'm going on emotional maturity, but that is a very yes, that's very good. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because-
But
because, like,
sorry.
Because the scene is great because like even if Shinji decides he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't like do what Masato's doing and bully him into it. He's like, what if I don't want to do it? He's like, that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like you're doing the best you can, kid. Like no one's. I'm not gonna be mad at you for being afraid. Like any normal
person would be terrified.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like that's Kaoru's whole character. Like it's okay. Like you're supposed to be scared.
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
That scene, Kaji, really kind of. I think it's probably one of the best emotionally driven scenes, also character driven scenes in the entirety of the series, besides like maybe a handful of others. But it's one of my favorites just because it's so pure, simple, and like straight to the point. He's like, dude, better get off the pot, just make a choice and stick with it. And that's it. Like that's life in general, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great scene. So I would argue that Kaji's not
Kaji is the best example of a close approximation of what I'm talking about, but he's still not there because he can never truly talk to the woman that he loves in the same way that he's talking to this child he doesn't actually care about.
Yeah.
See, but that's part of the whole why I like the show the way I like the show. Like,
Yeah.
of course he's gonna have a hard time doing that. Like,
Yeah.
any person who's ever fallen in love with somebody is going to have a hard time doing that. It's gonna feel like the most impossible task in the world. It's relatable.
I actually don't feel like it's hard to understand the person that you love if you actually, like decide to do that. That is obviously a conscious effort that needs to be made on your part.
I'm gonna get into a weird headspace here.
Of course you are.
I'm gonna make the claim that it's given under the context of the show and the time period in which the show came out. Given the context.
What year did the show come out?
1990.
Late 80s, early 90s.
1993 is when it was brought here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the series was out before then. How do I want to phrase this?
Take your time. Maybe not that much time.
We've got like maybe I budgeted time. We have like 7 more minutes to talk about this.
It's more widely accepted now. It's hard for society makes it hard for men to sometimes feel that emotionally vulnerable. Does that make sense?
At the time,
I feel like that's
yeah.
what his struggle was.
Yeah.
And in a weird sort of way, Gendo's struggle.
Oh, Gendo's struggle is internalized. That's a thing that, again, if they had spent more time on it, I wouldn't be mad about it, but they didn't. And it's extra difficult for me now, especially given that it's, like 2021. I can't view things through the lens of 1993 because I was 2 years old.
I was 8, and I remember part of it.
I would not have remembered any of the context of this show if I had watched it when it was immediately airing in 1993 in the United States. It would be impossible for me to understand what was going on besides big robot punch something sometimes and then boy cry.
You know what? I don't think I actually. I didn't even see this series until like 2002, and that's just because I lucked out and found a whole box set, like the entirety of the series, and bought it for like $30 or something. So
that is considered in today's standards like a huge fucking bargain.
Yeah, no, it's a great bargain. Like I didn't watch it until 10 years after it came out, and by then there were already all of these like theses and ideas and explanations about the series. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm watching it, and I'm like, cool. Giant robots killing monsters. I'm down with this. Power Rangers was fucking awesome. and series starts getting weird. But now, like 30 years after it came out, I can actually appreciate the finer details of this series.
But it just...
I still don't like the fact that they took out Fly Me to the Moon. I don't like that.
There's no way that they could afford that. There's no way they could afford that now.
Really? Netflix can't afford.
No, Netflix can't afford it. They have like 10 million other shows. Are you fucking kidding me? But
one of them got past
Bezos
season
saves us
3.
by Netflix so he can have Fly Me to the Moon, please.
So like, I just want to get through my real point is that the inherent flaw in the entirety of the plot from the real perspective of things of a human being looking at it is that at least one person in this 14-year-old boy's life should have the emotional maturity available to speak to him like he is a human being instead of as a test subject, as a child, or as a far distant relative that you don't want to talk to because, again, Gendo's entire character is just, I want to see my wife again. And while I can applaud that in a character that has a child and still at some points attempts to be a parent, he fully gives up so that he can go see his dead wife again. He completely gives up on reality for a dream of a thing that's outside of grasp when he has something that is still good and real, and Shinji would have been a representation of his dead wife that still exists if you would have been there attempting to parent.
Yeah. Are there any actual, like, genuine emotional moments between Gendo
and Shinji? No.
Yeah. Well,
The
one of
only
the
one
scene
I
that
can think of that you
in
can
the graveyard,
argue
right?
is like, yes, when they go visit their mom.
He goes and visits Shinji's mother's grave, and like the real emotion of the situation is still not him expressing his feelings to Shinji. It's him expressing the feelings that he has at there not being a body that he can go visit for his wife, and how things would be better if she was still here.
I'm talking about after that, when he walks away, and Shinji's like, "Hey, Dad, it was nice to see you," and he's like,
Yeah.
And Gendo's like, "Yes, you know what? It was actually nice to see you here too."
And then that's the only heartfelt moment that you feel between these two characters for the whole show.
That's the whole point, because Shinji's supposed to be driven for that, like, desire for acceptance, and then he starts to excel, and then he backslides, and then he rebels because he thought he murdered his friend, and now Gendo is
But
like,
if
I thought I was
Gendo-
gonna be able to have an emotional connection with my son.
Imagine how it would have
But I
been.
clearly can't, because now he rebels against me, so I must punish him.
Imagine how it would have been though if he didn't go through the backslide, and Gendo had been like, every time that Shinji succeeds, he continues to build him up instead of, Shinji, you must listen to my orders, because I will not explain to you why we are doing things that we are doing.
Like, that leads into the backslide where Shinji starts to do a little better, and he's like, you did it right. Like, you did good. He makes the little side comments.
Yes, but again, like, he does have time, because he clearly spends far too much time in the raid chamber where Lilith's body and the clones are hanging out, doing absolutely nothing, or sitting at his desk like this.
We're not going to talk about the silent room, okay? We're not going to talk about
So, but like, that's all that he spends his time doing. He doesn't go home. He sleeps in the lab. All he does is sit behind his desk like this, or like be in the chamber where there are a bunch of Silent Hill Ray clones. That's all that he does. He never does anything else.
It's supposed to be a metaphor for what, Swim?
Ray is supposed to be like, his obsession with Ray is due to the fact that she aesthetically looks like his late wife, so that's why he's obsessed.
But again, like, that's the whole point. And any individual, it's like Nerve is intentionally built up out of people without the emotional availability to really achieve anything. Shinji never would have failed fighting all of the angels if you had said, we are fighting for the Human Instrumentality Project, which is this, And we want it because we want every human person to be able to understand one another truly. So, Shinji, if you get in the robot and you beat all the bad guys, everything will be better. But nobody does that.
Yeah, but if somebody
I mean,
actually
the song
explains,
tries to tell him it's for the survival of the human race.
But that doesn't explain anything.
Reality is,
That doesn't explain anything. At what point when does he ever approach anyone and he's like, what is human instrumentality, that knows the answer to that question and will actually talk to him? Because he turns and he looks at Rey and he goes, what is human instrumentality? And she's like, it's the survival of the human race. The clear response that your father has drilled into me to give to the other people so that they stop asking questions. And he asked the same question to Asuka, and Asuka's like, I don't know, and I don't care. I get to fight in a robot, and that's really all that I want out of life.
we started on fucking, because she has her own fucking issues and bags of worms that drives me up a fucking wall.
But
I'm not even gonna go there.
I budgeted for our time for this so that I wouldn't do this for the entire time that we were on here. We need to move on to something else.
it's okay, I'm Ava now. I watched like an hour-long video about the psychology of an Ava this morning, and my brain's still fried from it. So, yeah, can we move on to having zombies in the fucking head?
So we have a couple other discussion topics that we wanted to get into today. One that I was really interested in getting into was Records of Ragnarok, which came out last week on Netflix. And a brief description of the show is that all of the gods that have ever existed, not like capital G God or Yahweh or
You talking like demigod kind of thing?
no, like
world
Zeus
religions.
and Odin
Oh, okay.
and Shiva are all they all exist simultaneously, instead of like a rise and fall of things. Like there are obviously pantheons that don't get as much worship now as they did when they were in their heyday, and but they all exist, and they have decided that humanity should be dead because they suck and nobody likes them. And then a Valkyrie comes forward and looks at a little footnote rule that they have in their bylaws that says, but humans have the right to challenge you for their survival in this thing called Ragnarok, where it'll be a 13 1v1 combat rounds, and the first to get 7 victories gets to choose the outcome of it. And if gods win, then all of humanity will be destroyed. And if the humans win, then they get to survive for another 1,000 years.
I want to preface this. It is a tournament. It is a whole tournament. This entire series is happening essentially in one day.
Yes.
It is a
So
tournament.
this is
13
Mortal
representatives
Kombat?
from the gods will face 13 representatives from humanity. First to 7 wins.
Yes.
And decides the
That is
outcome.
that is exactly how it goes.
it's
It's
just
essentially Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
but with gods.
But with gods.
Actual, like, real religions.
I've got it playing in the background right now, or at least
The trailer for it.
Okay.
So
Your
like
impressions, the artwork is actually really good. I really liked it.
I actually think that my favorite character that I've seen in the entire show is Brynhilde.
Okay.
Because
the artwork is fantastic.
the artwork is amazing. Yes.
The music is pretty fucking fantastic.
I put it like a 7. It's not my highlight.
No, I'd say the
This
best
is
song
not
in the
looking
entire
good.
show is actually the ending credit song.
Oh, the ending credits song and the opening are hot shit. Yes, that is 1,000% true.
I will give my opinion
I
later.
wish the fights were better animated.
Yeah, I was gonna say animation slips sometimes. That's just something that's gonna happen. This is
It's just
not even
not as hype as it
so.
should be.
The way that Netflix has split this up, it's not even the first half of things, because they only go through 3 matches in the episodes that are currently
series?
available.
Okay, so tag in, Blake.
Yeah.
The manga currently, at this moment in time, is only on fight 6.
Is it fight 6 of the first round of fights, or is it fight 6 of overall?
Fight 6, round 1.
Lord.
It is Fight 6 just started.
Okay.
Sorry, I
So I need to preface something important.
Okay.
There's a little bit of a subplot going on, which is why Brunhilde's like fantastic and needs to be protected at all costs.
I fucking love her. The best part of the animation for me is the expressions that Brunhilde makes is just so top tier. Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to pay attention to you, but I've got this show playing in the background, and all of a sudden there's this shot. There's this shot of Aphrodite. Oh my god.
Aphrodite's titties. If I can preface, if I can show you, they're like this big, like that big.
Statues that walk around carrying them for her.
Oh my god.
It is the funniest fucking thing. Okay.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So like the great part of I watched the dub, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rewatch it in sub see.
Fun fact about the dub for any of you video game nerds here: Brunhilde is voiced by the same voice actress who voiced Valentine in Skullgirls.
Yes, it's actually really good.
And she sounds exactly like Valentine. So, and the characters are very similar. So.
There's a slight echo going on, and it actually sounds kind of baller. Tell our boy on the bottom to say, "Round 1, begin."
Round 1, begin.
Oh, it just stopped.
Be better than that. Come on, Swim.
Hold on. Let me get the. Hold on. Round 1, begin.
I don't think it's working.
Better.
That's because I have to play you guys through my external speaker, but talk through my headset.
Okay, that's where it's coming from.
There's a slight echo. Adjusting it so it's not a thing.
So let me run through it real quick. It's 13 episodes right now. So this is no, I think there's 13.
Oh, there's 12.
Okay, I'll go with yours. So each fight that we've had thereabouts takes about 3 episodes, sometimes 3.5, depending on who's in what.
Hey, seriously?
Yes.
Okay, so general episode format is.
Went into Dragon Ball Z territory?
No, they're not. It's not actually the fight. It's backstory for both characters that are in the fight.
Oh.
So in the anime, the first fight is Boo, and you get into. It's almost done very death battle style, where you learn about Thor and you get into his mentality as a fighter and how he feels, and then you get Lu Bu's backstory as to why he's the way he is, and then the fight happens and then it ends.
Huh?
Kind of.
No, it's not. It's not like Naruto, because
it's not filler.
Yeah, everything serves a purpose, and every interaction fulfills more of what's going on and builds the characters up instead of just this is a character and this happened and some stuff.
Because otherwise you wouldn't have a reason to root for the god or kind of the bad guys in the plot if you think
Yes.
about it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the whole premise of the whole show, isn't it? Is that gods are say fuck humanity.
You have no
Here's one
we
thing I
should
didn't like.
play the beginning of the show actually. Hang on. Let me pull it up.
Are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna while you do that I wanna get that set up. I wanna talk about in the manga it's different. This is where I'm gonna get into manga versus anime difference.
Okay.
When the vote happens, not all the gods want to destroy humanity. It isn't a unanimous vote. It is a majority vote, which changes the whole dynamic of the tournament.
Okay.
Not every god wants to destroy humanity. I want to say the vote was like 71 to 29% for and against it.
Okay.
So the fight that was teased at the end of the series is the fight I'm for because of the mentality of the god that is fighting. That is round 4 is easily the best fight in the whole series.
Okay, I got it.
Not happening till season 2.
I got this. Okay, so we're gonna show the beginning of the first episode up to the point where they get through the decision that they're going to kill everybody.
Right.
I gotta mess with my audio.
Go for it. You're not seeing it on the stream, just letting you know. I think you're gonna have.
Oh, it's automatically editing it out because Chrome. Well, that's
Is it?
stupid.
Oh. All right.
Okay, then if this isn't gonna work, then whatever. I'll just get. Netflix doesn't want to have people stream it. Okay, let's get rid of that screen share.
What the hell is that?
I can send you an alternate website.
No, it's fine. Basically, how it starts out is different gods come forward with arguments on whether or not people should be swayed to either side. So gods lead off with the fact that humanity has done a lot of destroying the planet. There's pollution and garbage everywhere. Humanity only knows how to go and fight itself. It has never attempted to transcend that barrier between cultures and move forward. And through those arguments, an almost majority vote is that they should just straight up kill all of them. Until Brynhildr, who is technically like our kind of a protagonist or like a lens of viewing things in the show, comes forward and points out they have the right to fight for themselves. So we should let them do that.
So which character is actually representing like human?
Oh, there's not an individual character.
Okay, so Brynhildr and her 12 other siblings.
The Valkyries.
Save humanity. The Valkyries want to save humanity.
Okay.
Majority of the gods would rather just destroy humanity and start the fuck over. If
Okay,
that.
so we're talking about just like, okay, humanity's had its run, we're done. We're talking about, okay, we need to wipe the slate clean and start over.
Yes.
That's the premise of the
They
arc.
don't even say they want to start over.
They just want to wipe them out.
Okay, but is it like implied that they want to start over
No.
again? Or?
No.
It's
Not at
never
all.
implied that
Not
way.
even-
Never implied.
They're just like, okay, we're done with humanity now. Moving on.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
And it's funny because the gods don't even want to listen to Brynhildr, and it's just like, oh, what?
Well, it sucks. You guys don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. It's in the fucking rule book.
it's in the script, guys. You have to listen to me. Come on.
No, it's not even that. They all laugh at her idea of like humanity fighting the gods. She's like, oh, I forgot you all are a bunch of chicken shits too scared to stick up for yourselves.
Actually true,
Wait,
yeah.
She pulls a reverse psychology of like that.
No, she
No,
just
she
pulls the
already
Uno
knows
reverse
how
card. It's
shit.
just the reverse card.
She's like, you accidentally activated my trap card. And they're all like legitimately angry.
So then
And
getting
Zeus,
into it.
Zeus, who is the head guy in charge, by the way, is just like, fine, pick your candidates, do your thing.
Why is Zeus so emaciated? Is there a reason for that?
It doesn't really need to be fully explained. Like that's a part of the plot that hasn't been fully realized yet because they've only gone through a few fights.
But now I have to wait for season 2 for fights.
Zeus does have a fight in this season.
Zeus has the fight in the first season. His fight. Okay, so to talk about I'll just tell the fights. In the anime, the first fight is Thor versus Lubu. So for those of you who don't know who Lubu is, he's physically like the strongest fighter in all of China. That is his claim to fame. The strongest warrior to ever exist out of China, physically. Round 2, Zeus decides he's fighting in round 2 because he wants to. Like, who's going to stop him from doing it? And he fights Adam,
The first man.
the first man.
Adam from the
Adam.
Bible.
Yes, from the Bible.
In a fist fight.
uh,
It is a straight boxing match. My favorite fight in the first season is Sasaki Kojiro,
yes.
who is famed as being Japan's greatest swordsman, versus Poseidon.
So quick clarification. He is known as being Japan's greatest swordsman and simultaneously the world's biggest loser. He has actually historically never won a fight.
Poseidon, up until this point, has never lost a fight, and every fight he has won in one decisive blow. Every time.
Yes.
And out of all the fights in the first season, I'm going to have to say the third my favorite, because Poseidon is probably my favorite god in the first out of the first season fights.
Zeus, I think whole ass is boring as shit. Honestly, wholeheartedly believe that.
He's that stereotypical old man in anime who never takes anything seriously.
He's Master Roshi.
He's Master Roshi.
Yeah. I don't know. Aphrodite's kind of up there for me.
Afro hasn't fought anyone, Jim. I don't know. You're just looking at her as porn material, and that's what her purpose is. But
Draft of the manga, she was supposed to fight.
she was. That's true. But that also hasn't happened yet either.
I don't think she's going to fight in the manga, but in the original draft, she was supposed to.
How would she fight? She would just go down there and then like reveal.
She would just boob slam somebody and win in an instant.
Well, if her opponent is a man at the very beginning of anything, then she just drops her top and then she wins the fight.
Exactly. They would die from blood loss in their head going to somewhere else. Okay, like by erection.
Aphrodite's real power is to make such a massive erection in men that their penis explodes.
And they're
Like, outside of fights, my favorite god is probably Odin.
I'm actually a really big Loki fan in this because he just sits around and is a little shit.
Like, Odin doesn't talk in the series, like, at all. He maybe says 3 words. His ravens do all the speaking for him.
It's really cool, actually.
It's very funny because when he does speak, like, everybody just, like, shuts up and does whatever he tells them to. It's actually kind of funny. Like,
So-
when he's running around being an asshole in the stands, and he's just like, stop. Like, he uses his dad voice, and Loki just sits in the chair.
hang on, I gotta send a message to a friend because I need to describe to. They haven't seen the show, but I have to send them a picture
Of
of.
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite's massive mommy milkers, yes.
They will never believe me unless I find a pic. So you guys go ahead and continue on. I'll be back in just a
So,
second.
Blake, on season 1, which fight was your favorite?
I actually am completely on board with yours. My favorite fight was Sasuke versus Poseidon. Mainly based on the fact that it really takes a lot of those shonen battle tournament tropes when you're introducing a character for the first time in a shonen series, and it applies them expertly well to Sasuke's background, and in a more or less okay way of doing it with Poseidon, because Poseidon is still that like far off, unreachable Satsuki Kiryuin from Kill la Kill character. And like applying backstory to that makes it.
I love Poseidon's like whole reason for like not. I don't want to say not giving a shit, but like just being annoyed. I love it because like he's kind of like I found myself going. He's kind of got a point though. Like
He does. I actually think that from a deific perspective, Poseidon's thing is that I am a god, and therefore I should not need any assistance with anything ever. I am above everything else. So if somebody...
I'm supposed to be the gold standard as to what perfection is.
Yes. And so, like, there's points during the fight where they're in a big-ass arena, and a bunch of deific figures are like, yeah, Poseidon, fuck him up! And then Poseidon just turns and looks at the stands, and everyone shuts the fuck up immediately. And to the point where Kojiro Sasuke looks over at him and is like, why are you doing that? Aren't they cheering you on? Shouldn't that be a good thing? And he's like, I don't need them to help me. I'm already good enough to kill you on my own.
And Sasuke's just like, you are a depressing individual, and I pity you. And it like whole triggers this. Like this man is violently triggered. Like Poseidon at that point just didn't give a shit in the fight. And then he just said, you are depressing and lonely. I pity you. And Poseidon's just like, okay, cowabunga it is. I'm just gonna make this quick. now I'm fucking really gonna try.
So up to that point, he hadn't really been giving a shit. He had wounded Sasuke, I think, one time, and then when he starts giving a shit, he immediately breaks his sword. And, you know, a swordsman without a sword is basically, you know, like, not good at anything.
So here's where we need to explain the very important plot twist that gets discovered in round 1. The Valkyries have the ability to bond with a human and become their perfect weapon in battle.
So to add some subtext to that, nothing that could be created in the mortal realm would ever be able to challenge anything that had been made in the deific realm. So anything that a god has made is going to destroy any mortal weapon, which means if they don't have something that can fight against the weaponry that the gods have, they physically are incapable of fighting them at all. Enter the Valkyrie.
Isn't that
So
an
Valkyrie
envoy from Supernatural?
Technically, I think it's some specific weapons are required to kill some things.
You know what I'm talking about, Blake.
Yeah.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
But
like,
Swim is right. It does fall more into the category of like Soul Eater than Supernatural.
okay.
So like the weapon that they are wielding is actually one of the spirits of the Valkyrie that has bonded with them to grant them a weapon that's perfect for them to use, which would then mean that it's not able to immediately be destroyed by a deity because it is made of partially a deific being.
Side note, if the human host dies, the Valkyrie dies.
Yes.
For good.
Oh, so it's really like one of those last resort kind of moves. Like, okay, I'm gonna make you super fucking
Oh
strong.
no, it's not a last resort. The gods are whole pissed when they discover that this is going on.
Zeus is not pissed. Zeus is really horny, actually.
Zeus loves it because he's in the mood for like a good. He's gonna have fun with it because, believe it or not, there are fights the humans do win. I'm not gonna spoil which ones, but in the very beginning, Zeus is just like, oh, okay, they're doing their cutesy little magic tricks, whatever. The gods will win, and then the humans win a fight, and they're just all like, excuse me.
Like the reaction from one god in particular is the fucking impudence of these guys, the impudence that they have to challenge us, the gods. And then Zeus is over here like bold, dead ass, looking across the entire arena straight at Brunhilde and is like, Brunhilde, I want to bone you right now. You sweet saucy minx. This is my fucking dream. Get over here.
And then because I've read the manga, the gods lose another fight, all just like. And then Zeus at that point is like, I was horny.
Now I'm angry.
Now I'm angry. he pulls a hole. This shit will not stand. Because
Hornbury, yes.
yeah, he's
Hungry? Yeah, he's hungry. There we go.
he's chaotic horny. Let's put it that way.
Big mark. There we go. Okay, cool.
Because like you find out like the Valkyries didn't know they could do that up front, which means somebody told them. So who told them? There is a traitor. Somebody is trying to overthrow our authority, or particularly Zeus's authority, and Zeus doesn't like that.
So, like, I'm actually reading more into it from the Norse side of things, if I'm making a prediction point, because the Valkyrie have a very contentious relationship with the Norse pantheon, given the fact that Freya, or Frigga, if you want to follow through on the rewritten history of things, was the queen of the Valkyries, and they were at war with Odin and his pantheon at one point during history. And then the Valkyrie were subjugated, basically. So looking at it from my perspective, Brunhilde is just pissed at Odin and wants a chance to murder his ass, is what I think.
So she thinks, which is really funny, because she thinks she's selecting fighters who just outright hate the gods.
And a lot of the times that's not actually true. Yeah.
So like Adam is perceived to be the one person who would like hate the gods more than anybody, and then they ask him why he's fighting, and he's like, What do you mean? What dad wouldn't fight for his kids?
Exactly.
The world of man, they're all my children. What dad wouldn't stick up for his kids and defend them when the time came? And they're all just like, this pure man, this man among men.
Oh, so Swin, you've read the manga? What you said?
Yes.
So in my Google search of trying to explain to my the massiveness of Aphrodite's tits, I put up an image I found from the manga into the Discord, and
Allow me to.
Okay, no, I can screen share that one. Hang on. Give me a second.
You know exactly what I posted.
I would like to inform you that her tits are bigger in the manga. Yes.
Yes, they are.
They are.
I just
They are.
realized, and I saw the image.
They are literally the mommy.
Look at that shit.
Like, I'm not even fucking kidding.
No,
Look at that shit.
That's not even what I'm laughing at. What I'm laughing at is the fact that the guy, the gray guy, he literally has to hold her tits up. 'Cause they're
Oh,
so
dude,
big.
you wait until you watch the show. Every time
Oh
that
my God.
every time that she moves, the titties move and the hands have to move to support the titties.
They do
There's
like
one
the
time where like there is a clash of blades so hard she gets hit in the face with her own tits.
Oh my! Is that the other image I saw in the Google search? Because I saw him. There was one like speed ninja image where.
Oh,
her
yes.
tits are, like, flying
Yes,
straight
that's
up.
absolutely it.
Almost
The
like,
only
that's the
time,
scene.
the only time in the manga I've seen them not supported was the one time I actually saw her angry. That's what's funny about that. In
It's
the entirety of the
firm up
manga
in the
so
ring.
far, she has only actually gotten like angry once. And it was the classic like anime pose where you don't see the face and it's like the black shadow lines and the one eye. You know what I mean? That
The
Goblin
shining
Slayer look.
eye, yeah.
The Goblin Slayer look, I call it. That's how angry, like she was whole ready to jump out of the stands and start killing people. That's how
Holy
visibly-
Skinny Master is their lot in life.
because
Just saw that coming. Sorry, go ahead.
because
I'm sorry.
it's no like the manga. I love the manga. Like it is everything the
So
1 through 4 of Game of Thrones. It's
fun fact about the statues. If people aren't aware of it, Medusa was created by Aphrodite and Athena. Technically, it's a curse, a beauty curse.
Oh yeah.
So the stone statues that are following her around are men that she has literally cursed to follow her for all time. They aren't like constructs or anything like that. Those are cursed people who have been turned to stone and are magically following her around.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so like the bouts that they have in this one are good. Thor and Lubu is a fantastic introduction into things, but is not a top tier fight. And then
which is funny because Adam versus Zeus was supposed to be the first fight.
yeah, I think it would have been better if that was the first fight. But again, like I don't think things really hit their stride until you get to that third bout. Poseidon and Kojiro Sasaki are the top tier, I think, things that you want to aim for. It's enough history about Sasaki to actually make you want to root for him, and enough to know about Poseidon to know that he's a colossal douchebag.
But he could still like. I feel like that fight does the best of you going, holy shit! I actually don't know who's gonna win this fight.
Yes, looking at the other two,
Like, there is an
it
actual
becomes pretty clear.
for Sasaki to actually just be able to fucking carve Poseidon from groin to gullet.
It's good. It's hot shit. And actually
Like in the intro fight with Lubu, you think like, okay, man, Lubu this could go either way. Adam versus Zeus, you're like, this is a bold choice, Morty. Let's see how this goes. But
It's a bold move, God. Let's
well,
go.
see the fun part about the selection for the third round. Go ahead, you finish.
Go back to being a manga snob for 2 minutes. You want to talk about some outlandish fucking fights? Here's something for you to look forward to, Jim. Round 4 is
Okay.
Hercules versus Jack the Ripper in a London street fight.
What?
Yes, you heard him correctly.
Yes. Round
Jack
4
the Ripper.
is Jack the fucking Ripper versus Hercules.
I'm sorry, I'm having flashbacks to Empress Teresa. What?
Remember, they can select any individual throughout any part of human history to represent the human side of things.
To preface this, Jack the Ripper is considered the most vile human to ever exist.
Right, but he snuck up behind people and like sneak attacked
Hercules,
them.
thematically in the manga, is considered the god of justice, essentially.
Okay.
It's a battle of good versus evil.
It is a pure straight good versus evil street fight in the cities of London.
Yeah, but
And
you think Jack the Ripper, you think murderer. Like
I gotta be I'm gonna get this is gonna get a little spoily for anybody who wants it. He's Batman. He's fucking Batman. Jack the Ripper's fucking Batman. Like he actually legitimately made a grappling hook. Like I'm not even fucking kidding. This dude is Batman. This dude is the Batman of murder. He's not fucking around.
That's a good title. I would love that. The Batman of Murder.
You know
I'm not
what?
even kidding. Like it was my favorite fight, hands down. Like you do not know who you're supposed to be rooting for at this fight.
Context now, yeah, that makes a lot more sense because like me, the only reference I have to Jack the Ripper is like from Hell with Johnny Depp and fucking any kind of books that I've read about Jack the Ripper. Like wasn't like a fighter. He was just
when
like
you get in, so like each human fighter has like a very particular like thing.
skills.
Yes.
It's
I
a
don't
thing
know
they
where
can
you
naturally
are
do.
or where I'm gonna
It's a
fight
thing
you.
they can naturally do. So
Okay.
like for example in Lubu's case, his prowess in battle is what makes him so unique. He is like Thor. He has physically never killed defeated a foe in less than one blow. So he arguably
once
can
white
match
man.
Thor. Adam, as like a human literally made from the gods, is a perfect match for Zeus,
Okay.
who killed a Titan who was his dad, who could control time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Think of it that way.
No,
And
I get it.
I don't even want to get into the awesome thematics that was Sasuke's fight against Poseidon and why that was a thing. Dude has like battle sense times 1,000, and is like a master swordsman because of it.
Yes. So I want to reference something in the chat real quick. Isn't the idea that they want killers and murderers to fight in a death match? I would say thematically, yes, you're probably correct, but from a logical perspective, like killers and murderers aren't necessarily warriors. They may just be killers and warriors, and they may just be killers and murderers.
That's why Jack the Ripper was such like
It's a
thing
big
for me. Because like
it's a big jump from what you've heard, right?
What he lacks for in battle, he makes up for in the mind.
It's a big departure from what you've seen in the other fighters that we've talked about. That's what you mean, right?
Right. Yeah, in my
And it's
head. Because, again, I haven't seen this show. It sounds like that crazy kind of awesome that you just can't help but watch. But
Go.
I get so hyped when I think about it. Because like,
I'm afraid to go on because I might give Swim an aneurysm. Okay, dude?
no,
Okay?
it's
Can
the
I
reason
talk?
Blake made a comment about how it was out of left field, like.
Okay. Well, I made the comment about out of left field, but
No,
okay,
I'm sorry, I
whatever.
thought Blake said it, but like, continue, and I'll go on. Just go on.
I haven't seen this series, but the way you guys are describing it, it sounds like one of those like kind of crazy, awesome like shows to watch that's just like so over the top, and it's kind of sort of based in, okay, clearly not reality, but like based it like what God of War did. Like they took the mythos and turned it into a fucking awesome game series, I should say. Like the show sounds so badass, but then Jack the Ripper shows up. I'm like, okay. Then when you said like, oh, no, he's like the Batman of murder, I'm like, I would watch that. I would totally fucking watch that.
So complicated gaming has another thing to add in here. Why wouldn't you want warriors of the past like Wallace, Achilles, Mitsurugi? I guess it'd be going straight to Fate at that point. And like,
Here's an important distinction in the rules. It says they choose representatives from each side. Representatives. It does not say the gods have to explicitly choose gods, and it does not say mortals have to explicitly choose mortals.
Yep. Which is why I'm really of the opinion that my Brynhildr murder Odin theory is correct. I really think that that's going to happen.
Entirely feasible for the gods, if they felt necessary, to choose a human representative or vice versa.
Cybermat!
Which gets into the subplot of there might be a traitor among the pantheon of the gods who is trying to ruin shit for everyone.
Matt, welcome to the show.
Yo.
The third beard has returned.
Excellent.
Oh, wait, we should have renamed this show Beardless Blake and the Beardies.
So the reason, when you make the comment that Jack the Ripper fighting Heracles is out of left field, Brunhilde Hole did that on purpose to piss off Herc. She did it to piss him off.
Brynhildr is a very calculating character, yes.
Because he was looking forward to fighting like somebody who was a true warrior, and then she made him fight this guy, and he was whole upset about it. Because they're friends. In the manga, they're friends. Like, he goes up to her and says, hey, I just want you to know that I'm fighting in round 4, and when I win, Dad Zeus to not kill humanity.
Okay.
And she says, oh, good luck to you, and then she throws out Jack the Ripper, and she's just like, really? I thought we were friends. And you do this to me?
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, literally, he gives her the Robb Stark look of, I thought we were friends. And like, Hilda's whole character motivation in it all is like, fantastic. Obviously, it's going to be fantastic in the manga compared to the anime, but like, the gods literally think there is a traitor among them, and who is secretly wanting the gods to lose this tournament for their own benefit.
All right. So we've said a lot about it. If any of what we've said has interested you, it's available on Netflix now. Go watch it. Come back. Tell us what you think about the shit.
Show for the big old bitties. Oh.
Or you could just go and see Aphrodite's massive titties.
I've already put the picture from the manga in the Discord, and it's getting a lot of likes so far. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Seriously,
The god of beauty and fertility has big old titties.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it? Who knew?
With that being said, though, from what I've read so far, Kali looks like a whole snack, if I may be so bold to make a comment.
The guy with the 4 arms? Oh,
No, Kali is a Hindu goddess of destruction.
I know
She
who
was
Kali
in
is.
there.
Meant in the show because
Like,
I've seen so
one of Shiva's wives. And like, you see, when Shiva fights in the manga, you see his wives, and I'm like, she's looking like a little snack, though.
I'll have to keep on watching the show. But so far, like I saw, I think Kyle said Shiva. It was like a dude, blue skin, 4 arms, and he looks act as shit. He's got like the cum gutter.
Oh, Shiva is a god of destruction.
Okay,
He
maybe
is
that was
the
it.
pinnacle of like the Hindu pantheon, yes.
Yeah, like jacked as shit. I'm like, God
And
damn,
if I
dude.
remember correctly, he's the 5th fight, and he fights a world famous sumo wrestler. Never lost a fight.
Say again, Matt. I didn't catch that.
Did anybody ever, like, have you ever seen Durarara?
Yes, I've seen Durarara.
Do you remember the bartender?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what this sumo wrestler's power is. He has the literal exact same power.
He gets mad and he breaks shit.
No, like he was so strong, his bones kept breaking, his body kept breaking to the point where it wasn't acclimated, and then he got acclimated, and then he started training as a sumo wrestler, and then he kept winning and winning.
Oh my lord.
he has never fought at full strength.
Oh, that's some shit I would want to see.
Tifa, up until this point, has never fought at strength.
That's some good shit, man.
I still don't think it's balanced.
Oh, it's probably not balanced, and that's kind of the point, honestly.
If I'm being completely honest, this is the only fight where I'm just like, really? Like, I get what you're doing here, but really? Like, if I'm being, I'm just gonna spoil it. Like, that's the one fight where I'm like, there's zero reason Shiva should lose.
It's fat gum. The sumo is just fat gum from My Hero Academia. You punch him more times, he gets stronger.
I need to watch that series again. I miss that show.
Round 5 is the only fight where you're like, there's should lose this fight.
I haven't broken the same bone multiple times. I don't think you level up. I think you just feel sore when it breaks.
Actually, there is a real world theory where you add micro abrasions into your bones so that you build up bone strength, because then if there's small breaks, then it just becomes heavily concentrated instead of like full heal. Like if you shatter your forearm bone, that's going to heal differently than if you put small cracks into your bones. You're filling it in with more bone at that point, and that bone is going to be reinforced, because if you keep breaking it enough times, your body is going to say, this needs to be stronger. Drink more milk, get stronger bones.
Yeah,
That was a plot point in.
Unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
It's a plot point in Gattaca, because Ethan Hawke needed to his leg, and it started growing more and more with each break, because the bone actually grew back together, and he gained height so he could match up with Law's height. For that?
Well, I know that beyond that, there is a real world application in martial arts where they do, they plunge their hand into either like a bowl of tightly packed sand or water, and they continually do this over and over again to lightly damage the bones that are inside their hands to build up, one, pain resistance, and two, strength in your hands. Because if you are not a fighter and you have never whole ass punched a dude in the face, you do not know how bad that hurts you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yes, complicated gaming, that is true. That's why a lot of karate and other martial arts videos show people punching boards and stuff to build up density in your hands.
So that's actually, there's a lot more going on with breaking boards, because your natural instinct is to stop. You don't want to get hurt. So a board, it's all about follow through. People who poke fun at the inconsistencies in martial arts, because there's a lot of bad martial artists out there.
That is true.
Tend not to make fun of board breaking, because when you go to hit someone on the side of the head, even if you haven't done it before, you know it's going to hurt, and you stop at your target. And if you do that to a board, it will hurt. Whereas if you follow through and like try to take their space and actually, just follow through. Well, it still hurts when you break the board.
It hurts less because you're applying the force forward instead of retracting it. It's physics. This is an object that has currently zero inertia. You're coming forward, but then you start slowing yourself down. You're enabling the force to travel backward more.
Well, also your inclination is to put the board at the end of your punch, so you can still be moving at almost full speed, but whatever's holding the board just takes the impact.
To apply more force, you have to go through your punching. My question is, I think this was a line in Firefly once, but like they say never to punch a man with closed fist. Like you have to have it, like you keep your fist open a little bit. I'm assuming that's
Don't touch your thumb.
Yeah.
Don't touch
That is in the same.
You keep it on the outside.
Imagine if you put your thumb whole ass on the inside there like that, and then you punched a dude. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna dislocate your thumb, you dumbass.
So keeping an open fist, that's like to absorb the shock for your arm, but you
No,
your
that's
punch, right?
Matt, go.
No. Okay. Generally speaking, when you're in a resting position, whether you're, holding it like this on the boxer, side over here, open hand, or you can get like checking hand and a weapon, you want to be relaxed. You want to be loose.
If you have a tight fist, you're gonna have tension.
So as part of sine wave, basically you're relaxed. You go up and then down and tense on as you're striking. So you always want to start relaxed because you can move faster, react better. Relax is just better in every way. So you do hold your hand loose at first, but punch.
Actually,
It's all about. It's more like fluid motion because you want to tighten the fist as you're coming through on the strike, not just tighten it and go.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, with what Matt just did, if I'm pointing in the wrong direction, my setup's weird. But you saw him, like, I'm assuming Matt's had a little bit of like training because it actually looked because you actually twisted your hip into punch, which is actually like proper way to actually throw a punch because you're throwing your whole body weight into the punch. This is something like this is something that was told to me in college because a buddy of mine, he was like, "Hey, you want to learn how to fight?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So we did a little bit of sparring practice, and the first thing he told me was, when you punch somebody, twist your hips back on the windup, and then as you're coming through, you twist your hips with your punch because you're throwing the rest of your body weight into the punch. So it goes back to physics. Throwing all of your weight to one singular point as you're shooting the person or bag or whatever. So has there ever been a show or a movie that actually kind of like explains the kind of
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
No, wrong one. I meant Kenichi, History's Mightiest Disciple. Jujutsu Kaisen's pretty good too.
Jujutsu Kaisen gets a little bit on the far end of that because it also has some magic shit happening, but it does do a very good job of showing realistic fighting style.
Okay. Yeah, but Kenichi, History's Mightiest Disciple. Oh, it was so much fun.
That actually is a very good show if you haven't seen it.
Not scientifically possible. That's unrealistic. You just broke your arm. You didn't do anything. You were in pain. And then I watched Kenichi, History's Mightiest Disciple. I'm like, oh, the boy
So
told
the
me
kid
to
spent his whole entire life with knowledge from his books, learning how to fight for real for once without reading a book.
If someone instigates a fight against you and you didn't wish to fight, there is no such thing as dirty fighting. Yes. Yes, that's true.
That's fair. Yeah.
Uh, dirty fighting is a concept that originates from tournament circuits.
So, actually, I recently read an entire book on this. It's called Sometimes Violence is the Answer. Basically, it breaks down the delineation between social violence and anti-social violence. And the quick gist of this is social violence is two guys in a bar vying for social status. They're like posturing and like, there's sort of a social
beta
exchange.
kind of thing.
Yeah, or even if they're taking your money, there's still an exchange happening. Whereas anti-social violence,
Yeah, his money's going to him.
black, dead-faced ex-con who's about to stab you in like the liver with like the pencil they had in their food or whatever. Like there are no rules. They are going to kill you. It's life or death. You can't if you use your usual assumptions of good guy, bad guy, I'm the victim, and you get someone who's fighting anti-socially, they're just going to kill you. Anywho, fun stuff.
That is...
I think we need to examine your definition of fun, sir.
No.
Speaking of anti-social killing, zombies.
Yes.
We're going there.
That lends us to our next conversation topic. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it came out a few weeks ago. It is Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
I want to leave this off. I really do. I love this movie. It was great.
Sell me on it. What happened?
Okay, so here's the premise. Here's the gist. Zack Snyder walks into a movie producer's office. He's like, "Hey, got an idea for a movie. Bank heist, casino,
It's grave stealing, Nelson. It's grave stealing.
The same producer that snorts a line of coke and says, "Yeah, man, I'm greenlit."
Exactly right.
You think that the Netflix producer even listened? They were like, Zack Snyder walks into here and says something, and he's like 3 words into his pitch, and you're just like, do it.
Here's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Yeah, man, just do it.
Like seriously, this is like, I'm a fan of zombie movies. I love zombie movies. I think they're great. This one, it's got the right amount of fun, stupid action, and terrible CGI on top of that, which I will get to. But I really dug this movie. I thought it was great. Then you start looking into the behind-the-scenes bullshit that happened after the fact, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they actually pulled this off. It's great. It's...
Oh, we're gonna full ass go into spoiler territory. So if you guys aren't comfortable with that, you should make that known now.
In the casual recommendation, if you have not seen this movie, pause the video here, go watch it, and come back. It's great. Dave Bautista is one of my favorite new actors, just because he does such a great performance in this show. It's amazing. Like, no, tears in the eye, amazing. It's like he doesn't quite give a shit, but at the same time, he's just having fun with it.
It's kind of like watching The Rock.
The term you're looking for is campy.
No, he is all of the camp. Every other character does not exhibit that trait. It's just Dave Bautista.
Yeah, Dave Bautista is the...
One of the 3 words used to describe the show was all from one actor. Okay, impressive.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He really does steal the show, and hell, his ending scene. It actually did tear me up because what he said. Okay, I'll get there.
Let's start at the beginning. So
Okay.
let's premise, setup.
Here's the premise. So this is all I love about this film is that the opening sequence of a zombie movie, that's your hook, you know, that's what draws people in. The opening sequence of this film is literally a montage of zombie attacks with it's happy music. I think it's Las Vegas.
It's Viva Las Vegas.
It's Viva Las Vegas. So Viva Las Vegas by Elvis Presley is playing the entire time, and all you see is just like biggest showgirls in those sequin bikinis and the giant feather hats as zombies attacking people randomly. It's so fucking campy and over the top. It's amazing. And eventually, Vegas gets taken over, and here's where one of the moments of the film kind of really drew me in. It wasn't like your typical zombie movie where, like, oh, there's some strange murders going on in this section of the city. Should we do something about it? It's probably just some random creepo. No, they wall off Las Vegas instantly. That's
Like
part of
it.
the intro.
They don't decide to bomb Las Vegas. They decide to contain Las Vegas, which is fucking hilarious.
It's hilarious, but should we do that anyway?
I mean, if you want to go ahead, you should just bomb Las Vegas. It's in the middle of the desert. Not many people are going to be affected by it. Just get it over with and be done.
But I appreciate the fact that they actually stopped the spread before it got too out of hand. They're like every other movie is like zombie. Oh, you're crazy.
We've
No.
never dealt with an unfamiliar scenario before. Let's all die.
Exactly. No, this movie, they're like, fucking zombie, you said the Z word, fuck that noise, lock the city down. And they just instantly drop containers and wall off the entire city, block it off so no shit gets out. I love that fact. That's world building.
Actually taking it seriously for once.
Military's reputation for using shipping containers in creative ways.
Yeah, well, it is It is effective.
game plan.
So
Well,
then
that's a wonderful little world building moment that I love. That like
on top of that, this intro sequence is also the primary way that you get introduced to most of the characters that are going to be on your heist team, because they were people that have already been in Vegas during the shit.
Yeah, the premise is that this whole crew was basically in there to subdue the zombies while people tried to escape from Las Vegas.
They're trying to remove people from Vegas before everything gets walled off.
So, like, it's basically like a special forces team where they all have their specific skills. Like any other good heist movie, they all have their repertoire. And the intro sequence, I thought it was beautifully done. I actually thought it was well shot. The timing was perfect with the music. Everything was great about the intro sequence. And
After the intro sequence is, in my opinion, how things start to slowly slide downhill.
I agree. I think it becomes very, very cliche through the rest of the movie, which I'll get to. Like the rest of the movie, it's a fucking heist movie. Okay, it's not brain surgery. It's a fucking heist movie. Just sprinkle it with zombies and go from there.
I do want to go ahead and so the heist premise is brought in because one of the previous owners of the casino approaches the special forces guy that is Dave Bautista and tells him, how would you guys like to make $10 million? If you go in here and you raid my old casino's vault and get the money out of it, I will give you basically what it equates to 10%.
Yeah. It's such a cliche setup. It's so...
I don't know. That's interesting because it's a heist with permission.
So it is actually, it's gonna go through the rest of the plot is gonna show you that it's not actually what the intent is set out to be for the characters, which becomes blatantly obvious like 20 minutes into the movie. Something that Zack Snyder is good at is making like gritty, realistic, cool action movies, unlike Michael Bay's giant explosion orgasms that he normally produces. So there's a good juxtaposition difference there. He's still not very good at making a story happen logically.
Yeah, look, okay.
I've seen Justice League. I was there.
Right, okay, hold on. Before we get too much further into this, I have an opinion to spat out about this movie and Zack Snyder. This movie was like Zack Snyder gave a shit. Okay, that's what this movie said to me. Zack Snyder gave a shit about this movie because he was like, I'm gonna make this fucking awesome. This is like his I don't know, like
After forever doing the Snyder cut of the Justice League, it's nice to actually see him be like, I'm gonna make a movie and have fun with it.
Exactly. Like you could feel the love behind it because just some of the shit is so ridiculous and over the top, but it's just kind of like, okay, let's put it in. I love it. Like there's only a couple of moments in this whole movie that actually felt like somebody didn't really like care 100%, but like the rest of it, it's full to the metal. I'm gonna make this as awesome as I can. It was a fucking thrill ride, and not in like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Like, no, you can see exactly what's gonna happen next. I just like, I want to see awesome shit on a screen, and not in the self-masturbatory way that Michael Bay does it. Okay, I just want to see awesome shit and have fun. And
That movie does deliver there in droves. The movie does do a very good job of that.
This is like Zack Snyder at like just having a good time with the movie and not doing it because a studio told him to do it. It's wonderful.
Well, technically, a studio didn't tell him to do it because he did it on Netflix.
Yes. So where was I? All right. So
He gets the crew together for the heist.
Gets the crew together for the heist with the CG'd and chopper pilot, which brings me to the first behind the scenes issue of the entire show. So, like, do you know about this?
Yeah.
Okay, so those of you who have seen the film, the chopper pilot, that was not the original actress that was hired to play pilot. What happened was, I don't know who the original actress's name was, but apparently she got involved in some kind of a scandal after the film was done. And because they didn't want to cause any kind of controversy with the film, they hired this new actress who I recognize from an episode of Community and I think a couple of episodes of Star Trek Discovery. I think. And I'm pretty sure she's a comedian. I'm not sure of the name. I'll have to look it up.
Hang on a second.
Finding it?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was he reshot every single scene that the chopper pilot was in and CG'd in new actress into every single scene. So anytime you ever see the chopper pilot in the movie, she's not actually on set with the rest of the actors. It's all like this complete camera bullshit. In fact, I think there was an article that I read that Dave Bautista has never met the actress that played the chopper pilot.
His name is Chris D'Elia. Chris D'Elia is the original person who was in there.
Oh, there we go. That's it. Okay.
One of the things the second thing that pops up on Google is why was Delia canceled?
Wait, what?
So he had 5 different women accuse him of sexual assault.
That was it. Good. Well, the Harvey Weinstein. Okay, cool.
And he even admitted that he did it.
Google search and look at the first image of the space.
No, what?
You can see it. It's pretty easy to tell. He's got the douchebag grin.
Is it? Are you putting it on screen?
Okay, hang on. I'll pull it up.
Are you gonna do it? Okay.
Little bit of the nose wrinkler must going. Lip pulled up on one side. It's chin's a little up and off to the side. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the descriptive audio service that you're doing there, but we can make it easier.
Oh no.
You can clearly see the douchebaggery that is this
Oh
man.
my god. Guys, if my hair ever let my hair look like that, at least I got the fucked up eyebrow to separate myself from it.
It looks like
Give me
Dollar
the
Store
beard.
Rick Grimes.
It does look like Dollar Store Rick Grimes.
It's like you're dressing up for Halloween and you're like, I want to go as Rick Grimes.
So the fun
I want to go as Rick Grimes. Yeah.
the fun part about the pilot shit, the fun part about the pilot shit though is when you get to the end of the movie,
Yeah.
there is a helicopter crash at the end of the movie, and then you never see any of the other characters that were involved in the helicopter crash except for Dave Bautista and his daughter.
No, I thought. Well, no.
Not even like a shot of them impaled or anything.
No, you do see one of the other characters.
I don't remember seeing them at all. I don't remember seeing them at all.
Oh, dude, did you watch it all the way to the end?
Yes.
Okay, no, the black guy.
No. That's not what I mean. There are other characters on the helicopter when it crashes that are then no longer present and no one looks for.
Sorry.
There are 4 characters on the helicopter at the end, and only 2 of them are in the scene afterwards, and they never reference it ever again.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I don't see. Okay, skipping ahead. They've got a German guy who's the safecracker. They've got a black guy who's. So They got the corporate guy that's there just
He's to get them access to things.
to get them
Three
access
corpses.
and for the real objective of the mission. They've got Dave Bautista's daughter.
She just sort of joins at the last minute. She's not a normal addition to the team, just so we're aware.
Yeah, because her. When
So she works at the refugee camp that lives next to Las Vegas, and they are the people that got evacuated, but they aren't entirely for certain after a very long period of time of them not being infected with the zombie virus of whether or not they're zombies. So they keep them in a shitty concentration camp outside of Las Vegas and justify obscenely shitty behavior so that I think it's who's the douchey guy, the security guard. I gotta look up his name.
I recognize him. I don't know the name, but he's pretty much every, like,
Theo Rossi.
Okay, yeah. Look up his face. It's every douchey guy that's ever shown up in like a sci-fi thriller or police drama, and he's always the corrupt cop. Like every time he's cast an ass. There's him, and so final scene, into the vault, and what is revealed as they're trying to get to the vault is that the zombies inside of Las Vegas have become super intelligent.
Some of the zombies.
Some of the zombies, like they've developed like pack mentality, and
They can also have children.
they can also have.
Okay, hold the fuck up. We saw fucking rant here. Okay.
Gotta take the chair, just like plot.
Go ahead.
Raise the eyebrow, you know what that means.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
This is not a fucking horror movie. Okay, if you like horror movies, this movie is not a horror movie. This is a honest movie with horror. Zombies aren't supposed to be able to have babies. Zack Snyder has no business trying to make a. This is the reason why, okay? This shit's dumb. We all knew it was gonna be dumb. We all knew this movie was gonna be campy. Zombies being super intelligent to the point where they are able to sexually reproduce, that shit's pretty fucking dumb. You let that shit slide at the end of the dead because there was a legitimate zombie learning curve to that shit. A zombie figured it out, actual evolutionary problem solving throughout the movie. That was implied. There is nothing implied in this movie that this shit was happening. This shit is dumb. Okay?
Swim! Come on, shiny! Here, hey, get
No. The horror fan in me hates the fact that this movie exists.
Come on, man! Just hold up!
And now I'm gonna go get me a fucking soda.
No. The baby zombie in Dawn of the Dead is because the mother was bitten before she
No,
gave birth.
Land of the Dead. There was a sequel movie called Land of the Dead with the zombie semi-train car thing.
Oh,
Remember?
he's talking about the birthing scene in On the Dead, the remake. You're talking about Land of the Dead with the intelligence. You and I are on the
Yes.
same page, and he's talking about that scene
No,
from.
even what Blake said made sense because the mother died, was infected with the virus, the baby could not survive, it died and came out as a zombie. That at least made sense. There was a certain of like steps that were followed in this process.
That wasn't like a zombie took a penis and put it in a zombie vagina and made a zombie baby. That's an entirely different thing.
Somebody in Hulu mask.
So to get us back on topic here.
Wait, no, it's fine. No, go ahead. Something entirely different.
So now that we're back on topic, they start the heist off, and they are joined by Dave Bautista's daughter because she is trying to save some refugees that snuck in. I'm not putting a hat on for this. I'm not doing it. That snuck in to try to get money so that they could bribe their way out of the camp.
Talk about this movie and they sort themselves, cut this movie in half.
So
Come on.
what immediately happens as soon as they enter is actually, I think, the coolest part of the movie. Because they come into the ruined hellscape that is Las Vegas completely prepared to go ham into a horde of zombies, and then they arrive in like an arena of nothing but bones. because all of the mindless, stupid zombies just continued to stand there and beat the shit out of the shipping containers until the heat and the dryness of the environment of Nevada itself just destroyed the bodies that they were reanimating until there was no musculature left for them to move.
It's one of the first zombie movies that has realism actually introduced into it, because Walking Dead, that show was silly from season 3 on. No, it's actually like whoever wrote it was actually thinking about shit, how they were making the movie.
So the other thing that's really cool, they reference the fact that when it rains, sometimes some of these bodies get back up.
It makes so much sense when you start thinking about it, because muscle fibers dry up and they can't move, but a little bit of moisture, they start elasticizing, and then they can actually move again because zombie virus. I get that. Like I said, it's like somebody actually cared about this movie and wanted to make it.
But the real thing that everybody's here for is the part I haven't got to yet. They walk forward slightly, and then there's a full-ass fucking zombie tiger that is... I have to admit, I was completely here for the zombie tiger.
Zombie, so great. Okay, look, first off, the CG for the zombie tiger, it looks terrible. It's really obvious. It's fucking shit.
He's right, it does. It looks awful, but it's really cool.
It looks like shit. But
So, like, on a scale between Berserk, like the really bad Berserk, and
We don't talk about Berserk
where
16.
are we talking?
I think it like rides solely in the middle on the line, you know, like the hot crazy scale. It's just good enough animation that you're not going to be mad about the fact that it's a really cool idea.
it's like it doesn't hit the uncanny valley. It's kind of like Alita Battle Angel kind of CG. Like, it's obvious that it's CG, but it's like it's good enough to make it look pretty good. But I love the design of the zombie tiger, because it's like, what did they say? It was one of Roy and
It was one of Siegfried and Roy's tigers. And another part of the plot that we have to reference here is that the entire infection of Las Vegas was brought about because the military was stupid.
Oh my god.
And they were transporting one hyper-intelligent zombie. When a hyper-intelligent zombie bites you, you also turn into a hyper-intelligent zombie, but you cannot turn other people into hyper-intelligent zombies.
I forgot about the intro sequence. They actually explain how the infection started. It's two military guys in a convoy, and they're talking about getting laid or something on shore or on leave or something.
Because they're going to Vegas.
They're going to Vegas, right? And start talking bullshit, and of course it's a classic. Like, the guy's driving, but he's not looking at the road ever, and he ends up hitting.
He almost hits a car, and then he swerves at the last minute to not hit the car, but the convoy is following these people, and it immediately slams whole ass into the transport.
Exactly. So, I mean, typical cliche movie, bullshit. I mean, it's... Yeah.
It's not even cliche.
Anybody in the army knows that there is zero reason you're swerving that car.
Yeah. There's zero chance that the important cargo is in the front of the convoy, but...
I'm surprised they only had one leading car. I've never seen a high priority thing have one car at the front of it.
Right, exactly.
Never mind the fact that, like, the explosion that ends up letting all this shit happen to begin with is so ridiculous that it would never have happened. It's a heavy transport truck, right? It's got it's like double the size bare minimum of a regular F-150 truck. It's huge.
It's not like the Humvee style vehicles. It's
a lot of money trying to make sure military people don't explode.
So, but then it's a Cadillac. like a 1983 Cadillac, a baby blue, comes up and rams into that and then destroys the convoy. And was like, what? This regular ass car just slammed into this heavily armored military convoy trailer and immediately blew it up.
Yeah,
It's fucking hilarious.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure. This movie is nothing but cliches. So, get into Vegas, they start going through, and they're basically trying to fight their way to this casino where this vault is. And run into the super intelligent zombies, pack mentality, the whole 9 yards, like just like Mad Max.
They do actually make a sacrifice to them so that they leave them alone.
Yes, they do, which I actually thought was kind of pretty impressive.
They sacrifice the douchebag guy.
There was a guy that came along at the last.
He's the asshole guard from the refugee camp who has, you know, full authority to execute whoever he feels like is a threat of being a zombie. Because, you know, again, the government clearly gives you the authority blanket to do whatever you want when you aren't even a member of the military. This is basically a rent-a-cop. I'm just making that clear. He's just a dude with a gun. He has no legitimate authority granted to him by any governmental agency to do anything besides tell people that they have to stay here.
So he's like approaching mall cop.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, like maybe a half step above.
He does have a real gun, which is a step above a mall cop.
Actor is the guy from H played Shades in the Luke Cage series.
Yes.
On Netflix.
Yes.
It's the same actor, which I actually kind of like him. He has that like real sinister undertone. I really.
He plays a douchebag really well.
Yeah, he's really good at it. He's a really.
He reminds me of like a more asshole version of Ryan from The Office.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty damn close. Yeah, but like throws in a bit of the cholo with him.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. So yeah, so like they start getting into Las Vegas, and he starts being a dick, and I can't remember.
Oh, the guide that they have, to lead them through here, the coyote they call her, the coyote.
Yeah. Right, she does.
She shoots him in the leg and then drags him out and offers him as a sacrifice to the intelligent zombies so that they will leave the rest of them alone.
It's a whole zombie bartering system that gets brought in out of nowhere, and you're like, where the fuck did this come from?
Hey, let us go get the stuff down. Let us go pick this shit up. You can just have this time.
Here you go, take this. We don't even want him.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere, and it fits perfectly.
Boy, the DM must have been pissed at the table.
Zombies got him.
Aw, dang.
Oh no, whatever, Sally.
With his party decision.
And what follows afterwards, we won't follow through everything exactly, is a slow deconstruction of the remainder of the team based on the fact that somebody went with them is a traitor. It's really difficult to figure out who the traitor is, let me tell you.
Oh my god, it was him! The guy that literally has the traitor sign hanging on his uniform.
It's not even a post-it. It's like he got an emblazoned t-shirt that said traitor on it, and then he just wears it all the time.
Hey, I'm going to betray you later. Yeah.
Two offerings.
Well, kind of, sort of, because you're on so it gets to the vault. The over-the-top Sherman nerd, I actually kind of like, because he had a couple of, like, nice moments.
He's the comic relief of this.
He was, and I actually kind of liked him. I don't know who the actor is. They always die. I actually kind of liked him as an actor. He had some pretty decent, but he dies. The traitor, the real goal of his mission was to grab the head of an intelligent zombie so that the military could use whatever
A new one.
And a new one, a WMD, because that always works well in every other zombie movie that's been the plot of, you fucking morons. Right?
No level would go full.
I
Well,
just
in
don't.
their defense, I personally want a zombie head study. That would be fun.
From the words of Chris Redfield's mouth, a BOW is not an effective weapon.
It's
That is very, very accurate.
Especially when it can be stopped
absolutely
by
accurate.
one random boulder flexing asshole with a gun.
Damn right.
Goddamn boulder punching asshole.
Boulder.
Anyway,
So the traitor gets a zombie head.
which pisses off the remainder of the intelligent zombies, prompting them to then start destroying the remains of the heist team.
Yes. Then, in one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a movie, the traitor escapes out of the casino only to be stopped by the zombie tiger.
It is the best part of the whole fucking movie. So, like,
Starts ripping him limb from
I need to
Oh my god.
I need to go on a little mini rant about this tiger real quick. Can I do that?
Please.
So this tiger, while the CG is not amazing for like the amount of money that was clearly put into this movie, they really nailed the fact that this tiger acts like a fucking cat. It acts like a cat all the time. It's been bit by the intelligent zombie, so it retained all of the intelligence of I am still a tiger. And so it does things like just they're leading the charge on the casino where all of the heist team is, and it's leading it, and then it gets to the front door, and then it's like, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna take a nap now, and then it just lays down on the hood of a car and literally goes to sleep. It's like that is the most cat shit I have ever seen in my entire life. The tiger just decides, I'm gonna stay here, you guys go in.
Oh my god, I love that moment so much. It was perfect. Like, I don't give a fuck. It was the perfect cat, no matter.
So, like, whole ass, the best part of this entire movie is this shitty CGI tiger.
I love that moment. Like, I watched it the first time. I'm like, that is so fucking cool. And then I watched it again today. I'm like, god damn, that's fucking brilliant. It's like.
It is hands down the best part. And like the other thing that I can segue into this, every member of the heist team comes in and you know that they're actually good at doing what they're supposed to do on the outset. Every single character goes out like a badass instead of like a loser, like every other person in a zombie movie. There's a horde of zombies closing in on one of them it's in the first 40 minutes of the movie. And what she does instead of going out like a bitch is she kills like 50 zombies before she dies. She literally runs out of bullets before she dies.
Yeah. No, she goes balls to the wall, like, fuck this noise, I ain't going down with a fight, and it is glorious.
Every single character goes out in much the same way. Everybody gets a good exit instead of just, oh well, there's somebody opened a door and there's 30 zombies on the other side of it, and they grab the one person and they drag them out because there's nothing they can do about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, there is. There are lots of things you can do, like let go of the fucking door.
In the words of every red shirt that has fallen before me, fuck you, and I'm the only one who brought a gun.
So that's another highlight of this. Every character that you think is capable is actually capable, and you see that. And then they get through the remainder of the heist here, and Dave Bautista gets a secondary objective because his daughter has again run off on her own in an incredibly dangerous situation, creating tension in the third act that is not necessary but was gonna be there regardless.
That is one of my problems with this movie. Everything else was done so.
One of your problems.
There's a couple. Mostly it has to do with the CG and like, the death scene of Dave Bautista. Spoilers, but daughter it's introduced kind of the last second when they're about to go into Vegas, and of course she fucking wanders off because she's got her own goal to deal with.
And she doesn't tell anybody.
No, of course not. Because why would she?
Well, because Dave Bautista made it clear before she went in that she has to stay with him the whole time. And naturally, as a strong, independent woman that needs a man to save her in every situation that she's been in this movie, that naturally is not the thing you're going to do.
You are mistaken, Blake. She's a strong, independent woman that don't need no man. Oh, shit comes down, and then she's like, yeah, I could use a man right now. Yeah, no, that's...
But, like, if you want a strong, independent woman trope, you had it much better in the basically, like, the lieutenant of the squad that's going in there to do stuff, rather than his daughter trying to assert herself in a clearly stupid way. So, her...
I mean, that would be the appropriate time to get words, because I don't know how much time we have left for this subject, but still have to get through the ending, and one of my dialogues in the movie, because it's so random, but it's actually kind of perfect. Anyway, so, Batista, he goes to rescue his daughter after they get the money. They're fighting zombies. They didn't get the money. The German guy sacrifices himself to save... I still feel bad.
The muscle.
The black guy. I don't know what his name is.
The muscle.
The guy's name.
Why don't you just refer to them as their crew job? It's the muscle.
I could do that instead. Muscle.
Ding.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It's less racist if you do things how the Heist movie wrote them instead of just say it's the black guy.
Okay, I got no room on there. Okay. Oh, the German guy saves the muscle by locking him in a vault because as soon as they open it up, zombies start flooding in because of the intelligent zombies.
It's also a merit. They're not only intelligent zombies, they're also super strong and fast.
Yes, yeah,
So
that
they're
is a factor.
velociraptors.
They are velociraptors in human skin.
Yeah, pretty much. So, muscle is locked in the vault, and German guy gets it, which I actually did kind of feel bad about him because he just wanted to open up a really epic vault, like...
He didn't even want the money.
Well, he didn't want the money. He just wanted to open up the vault like every obsessed weird character. It's, you know, the
Very
cliche.
relatable.
Yeah, very relatable. So, I just want to do it. Let me do it once. It's like his claim to fame, that kind of thing. So, Batista gets with the chopper pilot, and they fly over to another casino where his daughter is at. They rescue her. There's a dramatic, like, fucking turncoat moment where the chopper pilot's like, fuck this noise, I'm out, and...
Which, again, logically, is the smart move.
Right.
There is currently an atomic bomb that is dropping in the next 10 minutes on the area that they are all currently still in.
Oh, right, I forgot that plot point. Yeah, there's...
That's how they're getting away with the heist, because they're going to bomb Vegas.
Forgot about that, because it really wasn't the important part of the plot, and, like, I only cared about the characters. So, of course, at the last second, the chopper pilot comes in. Y'all jump on. The badass Fiber Blonde, she gets impaled with a spear from...
Oh, so the intelligent zombie thing, I want to go ahead and say at the very beginning, since the first time that I saw him, I referred to him exclusively throughout the rest of the movie as Zombie Jesus.
That's fair. Yes, that is fair.
So Zombie Jesus and Dave Bautista have a fight at the end.
Oh, you know what? You brought it up. Like, okay, so... Wait for that symbolism?
It is really going for that symbolism. The intelligent zombies worship him.
Yeah.
Going for that symbolism. All right. All right.
So, I gotta ask you, because at end, you guys haven't seen the movie, right?
Nope.
Okay, so, like, the scene where right after they open up the vault and the zombies start swarming in, the jiu-jitsu style fight between Batista and the
Yeah.
He's doing the katana swipes and all that with his big old butcher's knife and all that, and the zombie's just like dodging Matrix style out of each swing. It's, to me, that was kind of cool. I mean, it's obviously like one of those, they did it really slow and then sped it up, but it was kind of cool to see a zombie move that fast, right?
I mean,
And it was to me.
it's interesting to see them move quickly, but I also know thematically they're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not supposed to do that, but it was kind of cool. I mean,
Never mind the fact that the lieutenant character, Dave Bautista and the lieutenant character are immediately heading out to go and save his daughter. And that's when the intelligent zombies show up to attack them, and they have already infiltrated, fell all the way down the 8 stories to the basement level of this casino where the vault is. They have removed the grate from the top of the elevator, and then as soon as they press the button for the door to open, one of them is immediately there, ready, reacts in the span of time fast enough to look at a thing in front of them that is not one of them and immediately turn the head all the way the opposite direction. I'm like, holy shit, that was a lot of things that happened in 5 whole seconds.
right, exactly. Like, anyway.
But Dave Bautista and Zombie Jesus fight. Dave Bautista wins, obviously, because this is a plaguing thing of zombie movies is a hero complex main character, and he's a hero.
And of course, in the middle of the fight, gets bit. So.
This is a part that I'm going to take apart with the after credits scene here in a minute, so go ahead.
Right, hang on, here we go. So. Go ahead, Matt.
He becomes the new zombie Jesus.
Oh.
No.
So, this is what I was talking about before.
Hey.
This is the helicopter crash. You said that I could come back to it.
I was building up to it. Come on, man. Dramatic. Gotta get the drama in it.
We're not the movie, we're reviewing the movie. It's not the same thing.
I love it so much, I have to bring the drama. Come on. So, a dramatic moment. Big fight scene on the chopper. Batista gets bit on the arm. The gun falls out of his holster and is just steering on the edge of the helicopter open door, which, of course, it's an open door.
Nobody ever closes the helicopter door, which is like 100% of the problems in helicopters in action movies.
We don't know why. They never close the door.
Does military have open doors in helicopters?
Some of them do, but they have doors on them.
It's a retractable door.
Yeah.
So you can leave it open, but there is a way to close it.
Yeah.
I've heard people complaining about having to wear the harness.
Harness has nothing to do with the door. It's a door. It keeps you from falling out. Speaking as a person that's ridden in a helicopter with an open door and looking.
No, complicated gaming. The intelligent zombies are not smart enough, apparently, to use guns.
That was Land of the Dead that the zombies learned how to eat.
Yeah, by accident actually, but
Still funny.
So anyway, they're in this helicopter. They have defeated Zombie Jesus. They're flying the way out. You hear the music playing in the background. Everything is great.
and the atomic bomb lands in Las Vegas with just a few seconds to spare, and the shockwave from the bomb knocks the helicopter out of the sky.
Matt.
You know.
So there's this weird trope of like not dying when there's an atom bomb. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's a very large wave of radiation and death.
I don't actually know. It's very hard to tell exactly how far away they were. Well, cancer is just slow eventual death. It's not the same thing. Not the swift instantaneous death that you're looking for.
They're whole dead. They're supposed to be whole dead.
Anyway,
And sir, what's that?
They're within the blast radius of the after radiation.
so the helicopter is knocked out of the sky by the blast of the bomb, and it crashes into the ground at what you can assume is terminal velocity. Nobody in this helicopter, except for the random woman that they saved, who the daughter came in to save at the beginning of the movie, and the pilot, are wearing seatbelts. And the helicopter then crashes into the ground and breaks into a bunch of pieces because, you know, that's how physics works. So this is the part that I was talking about way back, like 30 minutes ago into this conversation, where I was like, hey, you remember the fact that there's 4 people on this helicopter? What happened to the other 2 people on this helicopter?
See, I'm not gonna lie. The only ones I remember are Dave Bautista, the pilot, and his daughter, or Dave Bautista's daughter.
They did save a woman that was in the hotel, waiting to be turned by the intelligent zombie Jesus.
Right.
There were 4 people on the helicopter, and afterwards, the daughter does not even look for the other 2 people.
No.
Including the one that she literally went into zombie hellscape to save.
That's because she doesn't care about them because they have to have the lobster roll scene.
Shut up.
So, okay, for backstory. Dave Bautista's character, they introduce him. He's a cook in diner, and his dream is to basically get enough money together
To open a food truck.
Open a food truck, and like the movie plotline throughout the show is that he's talking with his daughter about like, hey, want to open up this food truck? We got to figure out what kind of food you and I. So he's trying to bring her back into his life because they're estranged, you know, cliche, that kind of thing. So as he's dying because of the zombie bite and, you know, the helicopter crash, which is, you know, secondary.
Again, does not kill him, does not even injure him.
Doesn't kill him, of course.
Doesn't even hurt her. She just wakes up after, you know, like maybe a couple minutes of being unconscious, which also doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So it's like he's dying, and I love.
Truck and chef about the same thing.
Yeah. I love this scene because it's actually well acted. Between Dave Bautista, which, I mean, you see him act, he's always over the top, but this is actually kind of like subdued and actually kind of like genuinely dramatic. It was actually kind of a nice scene because he knows he's done for, right?
Yeah.
He's on his way out, and he's like, I gotta have lobster rolls. Gotta have lobster rolls for the truck. It's what people are gonna want. Gotta have lobster rolls. And she's crying the whole time, and it's just like this dramatic moment, and finally dies. And
He starts turning.
convulsing. He starts turning and convulsing, and she's crying. She's like, no, I don't want to. As she's pulling the gun up to his head, and then, bam! No hesitation. He shoots him as soon as he starts flinching even more than, you know, like over the convulsions. Bam! No hesitation. Then
And then she is promptly rescued by the military.
where is that? Like, God, I love and hate that scene because A, I hate it because it's so cliche, but B, goddamn, it actually hit me. It was pretty good. Like his character just wanted to just open up a goddamn food truck. Is that so much to ask?
Okay.
And that's the other thing he didn't talk about. I love that scene. It was neat.
So then we get into the fun bit, which is right after this. There is, of course, every movie nowadays has to have the after credits scene. And it turns out
Solid hit because of COVID. Oh my goodness.
the after credits scene is about the guy.
Doesn't stop anybody around here. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's about the guy, the muscle, who had gotten locked in the vault. He has climbed his way out through the ventilation shaft of the vault, and he has survived with a bag full of the money that was left down in the vault. And He makes his way to an airport, gets on a private plane, and flies to Mexico. He is about to land in Mexico. So, just for reference, a flight to Mexico City from Las Vegas is about 2.5 hours. He got out there. He walked all the way to an abandoned place on the outside of Vegas where there was still a car. He fixed the car and made sure that it worked. Drove all the way to a private airstrip some hours away because there isn't another one close enough to Vegas that would be running, especially after an atomic bomb happened. Convinces somebody to let him use a private plane, flies all the way down there. Then he realizes that he is infected. And it must have been at least... by the time he's crawled out of the thing, made his way, walked all the way to where this car, fixed the car, drove to the place, bribed his way to a plane, and flown there, it has to have been at least a full day. And he hasn't turned into a zombie yet. Every other person that we've seen in this movie gets bit and turns in the next 10 fucking minutes.
10 seconds for some of them.
Dave Bautista got bit. They were on the helicopter crashed, then it happened after they woke up. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt of 10 minutes. That's an exceedingly long time for you to turn into a zombie.
Muscles is secretly Allison.
Yes. And they're landing in Mexico, and he knows that he's infected. He is, again, then literally choosing to do nothing about it. And they're going to start another infection. And it's like, wow, this is a great plan. He could just throw all of the money that he has out there to the stewardesses on this private plane so they can at least have something nice out of all this bullshit and kill himself inside of the private lavatory on the jet so that nothing bad happens. Or he could be an asshole. Guess what he chooses?
Be an asshole. Now, it's exactly stated.
But he got bit on the fucking chest. That would be the fastest way to get infected and change. The only faster way to get it is to go straight for a fucking blood vessel. A major artery. Like, it's the only other way that it's gonna happen really fast. And it's like, how the fuck did you make it all the way here? Oh, I wish that they bombed all the people that were inside the camp, but apparently they considered that inhumane, given the fact that they kept them all in a concentration camp outside of Vegas for an indeterminate amount of time.
I have no idea why. Okay. My final verdict for Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder was one of the most fun, entertaining, campy zombie movies I've ever seen. And this is what every movie should be like. Where you actually feel the passion from the director and writer come through. This was great. I love this movie.
Give it a rating.
One of my a rating?
Yeah.
I give it 12 angels out of 15.
12 angels.
12 angels out of 17. There we go. Yes, that's the rating I give.
Oh, good. We're going back to Evangelion, everybody.
I have to, just because from where I'm looking, Swim is just like, I can see his brain melting inside of his skull right now, and I gotta bring it back.
When we do a BatC-Podcast during October, we're going to reference a lot of the horror genre, and that's going to be really fun for me and Swim. It's not going to be fun for you, Jim.
Oh, Lord.
Because you're going to have to watch a lot more horrific shit.
Horror anime or horror movies? Because I've watched the
Yes.
There's like, you can count the horror anime that are actually horror on 3 fingers.
Okay.
Corpse Parties, Cheeky, and what would be the third one?
Another, probably.
Another.
That's like horror adjacent. You can argue a different path for that. So I count it. Yeah, I count it, I suppose.
Another is basically the anime version of The Nation.
What?
There was an anime called Another,
Yes.
and it is the anime equivalent of Final Destination.
Final Destination.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you keep breaking up, Swim.
Yeah.
only other one that saw Army of the Dead. But you rate the movie. Like, what did you think of it?
The thought process in some of the things is good. I like some of the conceptualizations. I like the fact that characters that are shown to be good at what they're doing are given an out that proves that they actually are good at what they're doing. The fucking cat, I'm here for it. Beyond that, it's a tropey mess filled with a zombie script. Zombies added into clearly what was supposed to just be a normal heist movie. So it's like the zombie equation is clearly an afterthought, not necessarily the forethought of what we're doing here. It's supposed to be a human piece, and it's supposed to be a human piece, and like it's missing it's missing parts of a human story because they added zombie Jesus into it.
Would you say it's genres that shouldn't mesh up, but they actually kind of do?
I don't think it's like unnecessary. I just think that if it would have just been regular zombies, it would have worked better. If there were more regular zombies all over Las Vegas, it would have worked better.
Yeah, the intelligent zombie part was kind of like, it really did kind of feel thrown in the last second. I still enjoyed it, but it was just like regular zombies, like brainless and all that, and there was just a shit ton more of them. Yeah, it probably could have worked better, but oh, come on.
So, like, if I have to give it a rating, if I have to give it a rating, I'm gonna give it.
Trailer for this movie and knew I was not gonna love the movie. I did not want to see it at all. I saw the minute I heard a character go, "Is that a zombie tiger?"
Really, technically, depends on a lot of stuff is horror, depending on how deep you think about it.
Like, so you're rating out of 17 angels.
Oh, I'm not gonna do a ridiculous Evangelion rating. I'm a serious man. I'm gonna use a standard scale that people can actually look at. I'm gonna give it a solid 3 out of 5 because it's a thing that you can watch, and it's not necessarily the greatest thing that you've ever seen in your life. It can entertain you for a short period of time, and it's not so full of holes that you're going to question everything that you're watching, and it's not at the level of bad that you can look at it and just laugh. It's a nice middle point where it has just enough good stuff going for it that I'd say you could watch it and it wouldn't be a waste of your time.
Well, okay, if we have to go on a scale of 5, I'm gonna give it a 4 because I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought everything worked just well enough that I was entertained from start to finish. The only bad part is like the CGI, some scenarios, but
And the writing.
And the writing, that's the point. It's cliche, it's overdone, but you know what?
The two characters that spontaneously teleport away from the plot at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, well, what movie doesn't do that? Seriously, say it one more time.
Hardest thing, they're inner Norman.
How dare you invoke that name on this channel? God damn!
Okay. We are coming up on about 2 hours and 25 minutes here of actual streaming where we weren't on a wait screen. So I'm going to go ahead and say if we want to keep going, I at least need to take a break so that people can use the bathroom and get a drink.
I'm good with a small break. I wouldn't mind keeping this going because, well, you know what? Matt and Swim, Swim and I and you have talked our heads off about Evangelion. Matt showed up late. God damn it, didn't you get the memo?
There's a very important conversation about Records of Ragnarok.
Exactly. About titties. So, I'm good to keep on going if you all are. I'm good with the...
Well, I only have one more thing I want to talk about today, and that's just if anybody has anything to talk about with E3, but, like, let's take a quick break.
I have a lot to say about E3, so if we're willing to take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
As long as
There's a lot I would like to say about E3.
We'll be back.
Given an opportunity as long as I'm given an opportunity to bring up the trailers for E3, or if we play them on stream, then more than happy to talk about E3 because I don't know anything actually got revealed this week.
Like a conference.
Oh, okay, this is gonna be great. We have somebody that has no knowledge about it whatsoever. Okay, okay. Hold up. Hold up. Save it.
I'm not going to. I'm not. This isn't to bash you or anything. I'm generally
Oh,
curious.
I'm bashing me.
Okay, that's it, everybody.
Oh my
We will be right back. Give us about 5 minutes to rest and recuperate, and then we will be returning.
Okay. God damn it, Matt. All right. See you guys in a bit. Be out. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn it, Matt.
You're welcome.
Oh, shut up.
I do. It's on the list to like learn pop culture, but like, it's beneath a few other things. Like, currently, I think my top priorities are figuring out what the dancing thing is, finishing reading a book on facial expressions, and actually, pop culture might be third on the list. Interesting.
Okay, before I go to the bathroom, I want to show you this because I feel like you would find this kind of sort of interesting in a weird way. So I have this random anime figure.
Oh, I was convinced that was Haruhi just from the face.
Can you give me
From who?
a 360?
So, you know the Fate. You're familiar with the Fate series, correct?
I was gonna say that's a Fate lance. Like that lance screams Fate
It's
franchise.
Scat Talk.
Okay.
Good Collins teacher.
Now, for a hot second, I thought it was something from.
I figured you would be familiar with that character's lore.
I mean,
How do you spell it again? I might.
Which name? Scat Talk or Colon?
Either.
Blake could help you because I need to go to the bathroom. Tell you.
go for it. I gotta go too, so back in a second.
Yeah. Okay, 0 searches. I'll figure it out later. 0 search results.
Summer Game Fest in E3 2021.
I don't know about someone from Irish mythology. That is disappointing. I am disappointed in myself. Have to add Irish legend and mythology to the list too. Yeesh. Yeah. I mean, I know a smidgen of Norse, not as much as I should, but it's mostly Greek and Roman. Like that's like everyone else in Western culture, I know Greek and Roman mythology and like nothing else.
Sure.
Thanks to today's sponsor, Sunkiss. Kiss the sun.
This episode brought to you by Spoken. A lot of.
I don't know why, but for a second I thought you were gonna say Newport or something.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by caffeine. Lots.
Brought to you by frozen made lemonade, which is still delicious.
Welcome back, everybody.
We're back.
Okay, so leading off, E3 was not that long ago, and I have reacted to none of it with anybody. Mostly because this year did not seem like I really needed to care that much about it. So if anybody else wants to lead off, I know that you had a lot of choice things to say, Swim, so...
It's kind of been sounding like Swim's going to be taking the lead on this one because he's seen the most of them, I think. I haven't seen a single one.
I've been off work for like a week because vacation time. And I had nothing to do. I realized when I took this vacation was to basically watch E3.
Okay.
So I did. I watched a large majority of E3 with some other people who I was and the general consensus is that this year kind of sucked. It wasn't really anything great.
Okay.
But I'm afraid of what happened. We're still on Len's Yokai Watch.
What?
Yokai Watch is a very obscure jam.
Oh, that thing. Yeah. Why?
There was a lot of games people were hoping to get announced for that people didn't get.
You could find that they didn't give their Yokai Watch.
No, like there was a lot of random stuff that got announced and nothing people asked for. With that being said, Blake, was there anything what was your general thoughts going into this E3 about given the whole state of the world?
So, given that we entirely skipped the last one, like everybody whole ass skipped last year to begin with, the first...
It's not entirely true. You and we did a live stream where we watched Devolver because they put out an interactive demo game.
That's not the same as E3, and that was a different expo that they were doing.
E3 is like developers make their spokesperson come out on stage in front of, writers, people who bought tickets, that kind of stuff.
So, like...
It's almost like the curtain call opening statement for video games.
I guess it's the difference if you want a good way of looking at it. So E3 is Broadway, and the stage that Devolver was in is your local theater.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it.
Well, if the production's nice and the heart. Look, I'm trying to stay positive about this thing, guys. Come on.
No positivity allowed here. Only suffer.
Positivity. This is video games, damn it. We are being serious about this. Fuck.
If we're gonna replace our lockers with these things, we've gotta take it serious.
Okay, so like there's some cool announcements, but like going into it from last year, you would have expected that a lot of people had taken a larger amount of time to prepare and have a really good slate for this year, because they had an entire year off to do that, and they didn't do that. The prep work is not there. The show-stopping stuff is not there. I feel like everybody at E3 is turning it more into, how can I get the most famous people to come on stage with me so that other people that aren't gamers will pay attention?
Are you saying they're trying to, cabbage off of what Keanu
Yes.
A year ago.
Yes.
And like trying to.
For him to be there because he was in the effing game.
Yeah, it made sense, but still, you got the
So,
on power of the name.
like, they had Post Malone show up in one day. They had Deadmau5 and Soulja Boy show up one day. It's like, why are these people here? Are they in the game? Are they doing anything with the game? No. Why are they here?
Like, EA to have like Snoop Dogg shows up because he's huge into competitive. Like from that perspective, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, or like the new sports game to have like an actual like NBA or like, no.
Deadmau5, I can understand. I actually kind of like this music.
Well, no, it's not about that. It's about the fact that it doesn't make sense that they're making a star appearance on a stage for a video game. Like, Deadmau5 being there to be a DJ, completely understandable. Deadmau5 showing up to be a famous dude on stage for somebody, not really what we came here for. It's like inviting Kim Kardashian to come hang out at your brunch. Like, she's not there to do anything other than make you look good because you have a very rich, famous friend. That's the only reason why she's there.
Could have been anybody else besides Kim Kardashian.
Sure, I can go worse. It's Kanye now.
Yeah, a little bit. He was a
Alright,
bit more
I'm
fun.
seeing this Deadmau5 thing. Okay, I'm back.
It's not actually Deadmau5, it's just a Deadmau5 that they bring out on the stage.
Yeah, no, I just listened to this person's music and I clicked through a few songs and
I can actually say the things I'm whole ass most excited for is more Resident Evil. It's DLC, but it's something. Some more, and then some more stuff from Nintendo. Nintendo.
The gamer. Oh my goodness. It's DLC, but it's something.
But Nintendo knocks the shit out of the park this year. They have a new Metroid game. They've introduced another character to their Smash roster, which is a huge collective addition in the fact that it's a Tekken character.
It is the character, sir.
Some people argue that that is Heihachi, and I'm not one of those people. I just want them to have a voice. Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay, how do you make a sequel to Breath of the Wild?
Oh, they had prepared for that a while ago. There was an after credits scene in the first one.
Is there?
Yes.
Ganon's just Oryx, basically. If you play Destiny, you killed his physical body. Now you gotta go into a room and kill his soul. Man.
Actually, I think you just killed a manifestation of him sleeping.
That's even better.
Come on.
An aspect of Ganon.
Like, Chaos Ganon is just Ganon's dreams, because they go underneath the remains of Hyrule Castle and they find the body of Ganon, and it reanimates when they find it.
Because that makes sense. I thought Calamity Ganon was supposed to be like the end all be all like final version.
Sir, you're referring to Ganondorf right there.
No, I just mean I thought
The be-all, end-all version of Ganon is Ganondorf, sir.
No.
Ganon is Cthulhu. Yes, Ganon is Cthulhu.
you must love.
Kill. No. Ganon is just
Never mind. Moving on.
Beyond that, there's some more stuff about the Dark Pictures anthology, which needs to knock it out of the park on this one, and has already set up the pins to make that virtually impossible for them to do correctly. But we're gonna play it anyway. And other than that, I didn't really see a lot of highlights that I was highly interested in, other than the Pokemon MOBA thing that they're making, which looks pretty fucking dope.
Well, there's another Pokemon game coming out. Oh, of course there is.
No, it's not a regular Pokemon game. It's a Pokemon multiplayer online battle arena game, like League of Legends, but with Pokemon.
Hey, wait.
legend. You can
Like,
pick a Pokemon. The Pokemon has it.
They have a kit, they have a move set.
Slim, I swear to Christ, I need to buy you new mic because you keep cutting out, man. I know you.
Now.
You get excited and your mic cuts out. I'm just like you being here. I just got to get you a better mic. I really do.
Working on
Oh,
it. It's on the to-do list.
I know. Hey, welcome to the club. Christmas.
So like, the only other cool thing that I had that I will legitimately play a trailer for is Psychonauts 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
So I'll go
I
ahead.
didn't even know-
Let's
I
make
didn't
sure
even
that
know
that
they were making a sequel to.
it's actually coming through. That's cool.
Right. And nothing shows.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
On the screen.
Ah, god damn it.
It's showing for us, not on the screen. Oh, look up Psychonauts 2 on YouTube.
I am on YouTube.
Oh, not you.
Yeah.
Viewers. Cyber, something's going on with your body. There we go.
Oh, that's so cool. There's a pinball level.
Wow. Ask myself that same question every day. Oh, come on.
Oh, you didn't summon Agent Cruller!
No.
You didn't summon Agent Cruller!
Spoilers. You can't talk about that kind of shit right off the bat. That was actually kind of entertaining.
So, this will be an Xbox exclusive and a PC exclusive. It'll be on Game Pass. So, Sony fanboys, you better get yourself a computer that can play Psychonauts 2, because that's the only way you're playing Psychonauts 2. You got Final Fantasy VII Remake, you'll be happy about it.
Starfield is an Xbox exclusive.
No, guys, no. Don't bring up the exclusive.
It's not... Xbox doesn't have exclusivity anymore because it also bleeds over into cloud gaming and PC. It just completely leaves out Nintendo and Sony. Those are the only two things that are left out. Everything else is included in almost all the other pieces of shit that you play on. Ooh. We're gonna have a Starfield off, is what I'm hearing right now. Stadia is actually taking off, and it's surprising me how well it's doing, because I didn't really think it was gonna be that strong.
I thought Stadia was kind of failing just because of the connectivity issue. I thought it wasn't doing so
It depends on where you are. Only other things of note that I think happened, they revealed a look at the Borderlands movie set. And the Borderlands movie is actually being made, written by writers from Gearbox. So it might be a decent video game movie. Cool.
Oh my god. Oh, I just had a brain fart. I thought you were talking about the MC series. Borderlands. No, you're talking about the actual video games. I completely forgot. A second there. Wow, I completely forgot that they were making a Borderlands movie.
Oh, complicated gaming coming in with a good hot take again.
So much.
Complicated gaming, watch Starfield still be in the same dated-ass engine that they've been running since Skyrim.
I love that engine.
Most likely.
Every game. Oh
That's the lead theory.
walls are an option.
Square Enix had some cool stuff.
I got cool stuff to talk
Okay, you go ahead and take it from here because I don't have anything else I'm wholly interested in without any more look.
It's not the most important announcement.
Oh,
E3.
is it Halo?
No.
Okay, then.
The most important announcement of E3 is that Doki Doki Literature Club is getting a new Game Plus with extra scenes, extra rap. It's coming to console. That was the most actually saw on E3. It came out of fucking nowhere. And nobody is
Away
upset
from the
with this
figure
happening.
in the corner of a screen. I should have seen that coming.
But in all seriousness, Blake pretty much covered on all the important stuff besides the fact that Halo's multiplayer is going to be free, and the story campaign is going to be the only thing you pay for. Yeah, Halo multiplayer is going free.
Halo Infinite is basically just a big online Halo Fight Club.
No, that's
Halo. The new Halo game is going to have a season pass style system. The difference is it doesn't expire.
pay once and that's it.
Pay once, that's it. Finish it whenever the fuck you feel like it. They stack. Each season stacks. You paid for it. You unlock it when you're done with it. Whatever. Do what you do. Do you, boo boo? It's basically what they said with the season pass.
It's good shit.
Season pass not sleazy? That's illegal.
Are you
Yeah,
telling
that's what
me?
they did.
You telling me that the developers
For
of
the
the company?
multiplayer, the season pass for the multiplayer does not expire. They don't want you doing the whole promo thing.
You're telling me they actually listen to the consumer and they're like, hey, that sounds like a good idea, and they finally fucking did it? All right, fine.
You want to hear some other random news about people actually listening is that CD Projekt Red is still trying to fix Cyberpunk 2077, and they actually have started to do a good job. Finally. Over a year after all the shit, they're finally started to do a good job.
It only took them a year.
Are you sure you've all seen that clip of like Voice Critical when he's like, someone asks him in chat what he thinks about Cyberpunk, and a car just glitches out, jumps in the air, and crushes him.
Yeah.
Like talking about something good about E3.
You want to talk about the bad shit?
The Hawk fans to take some time to talk about all the dumb shit I saw at E3.
Hang on, Swim. Hang on. 1 second. Blake. See what Nelson just did?
I'm not currently watching stream chat, so what just happened?
He just picked a game for Blake.
What game?
The Ninja Gaiden Collection.
Oh god. That shit was Dark Souls before Dark Souls was even a thing.
Exactly right. The Ninja Gaiden Collection is super tough. For the NES era. Now, Blake, I think you could do it, dude.
No, these are the collection is the hack and slash games from the OG Xbox to the 360 era. Those hard games. That shit. That's that shit. Nope.
I was going to
The
say, like,
Wonky Kids registration Ninja Gaiden games.
I was going to say, like, I've got the Ninja Gaiden Collection.
I've got a pretty long list of shit to get through before I would reach that. So I'm like, are you sure that's gonna be a while? Unless you want me to just talk about it because we're on the podcast right now, I can redeem that immediately. You want to see a struggle? Oh man, you're tired of seeing me use the mechanics in the game to play the harder difficulties. I'm so sorry.
So anyways, I'm gonna talk about all the dumb shit I saw at E3. Are you ready?
Go.
Sure.
Okay. The entirety of Ubisoft's press conference. Let's start there. Let's just start with everything Ubisoft won.
Couldn't narrow it down just a little bit?
No, because it was all really dumb. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, it's all really dumb. First off, who asked for an Avatar game?
Nobody.
And I'm not talking The Last Airbender. I'm talking about the space alien blue people. They made a game. There is an Avatar game coming out.
So.
There already was
I would point to Blake and tell him to do the thing.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to see
We're
that.
not doing that.
I don't want to see that. So if I could show you the highlights that they say they have from the Ubisoft presentation are a first look at Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, an extended scene and teaser of Far Cry 6 Season Pass, and Mario and the Rabbids are joining forces in Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. That is the highlights.
Those are the highlights. That wasn't even everything. Okay, so let's start with the Raven Rabbit stuff. You either like that shit or you don't. Moving
Thank
on.
you for the follow, NV5.
Thank you, V5.
It had a trailer for a sequel to a game that isn't even out yet. Yes, it was that bad.
Okay, so
Okay, that's all.
the Avatar game. Nobody asked for it. It came out of fucking nowhere. Like we're beyond the hype of that movie. The Raven Rabbit stuff. You either like that shit or you don't. And these all movies have small children. Moving on. Far Cry 6. I don't know where to begin. I feel like Cry is turning into Borderlands. It's not a good thing because like the trailer and stuff for the new Far Cry made it look more comedic than anything else, and it was really weird. Actually, no, it was like more like The Division, but trying to be funny. When you're trying to topple an oppressive regime, yeah, that's what you need. A fucking backpack that shoots missiles. What was it called? He wants his backpack back. Yeah.
Point of order. Missile launching backpack sounds fucking awesome.
Everyone
Very much.
You guys wouldn't even responsibly know how to use a jetpack without killing yourselves. I'm not giving you rocket launching backpack.
No, you are
I could use a jetpack responsibly. Come on.
You are a South American freedom fighter who built a backpack that can shoot missiles. There's a whole lot wrong here.
Compared to a South American freedom fighter who has a grappling hook that defies physics every single time he fires it off, okay? It's not that uncommon.
Like, as Einstein said,
An open world co-op Redfall. I don't think I watched that one. An open world co-op FPS from Arcane. Okay, Arcane is a studio that does have a good backing. It'll be weird to see them come in and just jump into a co-op shooter, given that they've come from Prey and Dishonored.
Okay, so let me talk about the one thing that I saw me off at Ubisoft's conference more than anything. Who the fuck on God's green earth thought we needed Rainbow Six to keep traction? No, put your fucking hand out. Like, you didn't ask for them. So, no, listen, French, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Twin Sniper 45.
Behold his eye.
Extraction is an entire game based around the old season called in Rainbow Six Siege called Outbreak, where they had a PvE mode where you had to do small little objectives against waves of aliens. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This mode was the mode that launched the operators Finka and Lion. For those of you who know anything about Rainbow Six's history, they have decided that they are making a $60 game that essentially amounts to COD Zombies with Rainbow Six Siege characters. It's not, Chichanka's in there, and it's not even Chichanka where he gets to carry his where these machine guns is primary, and he can shoot flame grenades. No, it's LMG mounted and loaded and every gas stationary on the Lord Chichanka is back. Yes, they added Tachanka, Blitz, Ash, and I can't remember who the other one was.
Complicated Gaming says, and that's bad.
Chinese mobile games, am I right?
Immediately the cry went out.
And then, yes, the cry, the people rejoice as their Lord Tachanka turned to them. from the Holy Land.
There's
We
that.
not talking.
and
Are
maybe
we?
chocolate.
Are we not talking about Mass Effect here?
You have to know something about competitive to understand what we're saying.
Right,
Clearly,
you all.
Okay, so Jim, just think about it. You're gonna drop a dude in. Oh, Envy, what's up? Joined in the. It's cool, buddy. You don't gotta pop in here. It's cool.
Hello, friend.
so anyways,
Okay.
so back to my rant of disappointment.
Temporarily had something to say, and he's like, okay.
He's like, nah, fam.
I'm good, yeah.
That's so crazy. I did not know that it would do that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be where you accidentally click join, except I usually stick right into that.
Well, that's what happened with Crom on IBC last week. So.
The Discord link is supposed to just introduce you to the channel, not to the call. That's very weird, and I'll look into it after this.
Well, that's nah, just leave it that way.
Everybody will pop in, and they'll just immediately be in the BatC-Podcast channel and be like, what?
Oh, I love it.
Let's
Let's do it.
Sorry.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, Ubisoft was a disappointment. 90% of the shit they announced was nothing anybody asked. Maybe Far Cry 6. Never been a Far Cry fan, so I don't really like games.
It's basically just dismantle the government however you can, but in a place that's not America.
Yeah, dismantle totalitarian regime simulator 2021. I guess.
I mean, I actually kind of like Far Cry 5. I thought that was actually kind of a fun game. I mean, yeah, it got repetitive, just like, well.
Okay, no, you say that, I have to go on a rant now. Everybody keeps bringing up gameplay for X is repetitive. What if I told you that games are supposed to be repetitive?
No, like, a lot of games, like, from start to finish, yes, repetitive if you do them over and over again. But
No, the mechanics of the game don't change unless you drastically alter the game. It's not like you're gonna suddenly be playing a puzzle game when you're in the middle of playing an RPG. That's not how this shit works. You're gonna be continually playing the RPG.
BioShock did it well. They had puzzle game elements in their RPG.
yeah.
Puzzle game elements does not a puzzle game make. Would you call BioShock a puzzle game?
The puzzle is how do I become the apex predator in this sinking city? That was the puzzle.
Would you kindly shut the fuck up? That's so wrong.
It's not wrong.
That's not a puzzle, Jim. That's a mystery. That's not the same thing.
Okay, look. Far Cry 5, it had some really fun mechanics behind it. Yes, they kind of started to repeat itself, but each did have a different flavor to it. The story was what drove me through the game. Mechanics are what I'm referring to as being repetitive. Then the random, the respawning shit, it was just over and over again. That's what I'm talking about. But the story drives me forward through the game, then yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. If it's just bullshit excuse after bullshit excuse, then yeah, I'm not gonna play the game. But Far Cry 5, yeah, kept making me want to keep going forward. So yeah, my opinion. Yeah.
Okay.
And the room dies. Okay.
Along with art.
Okay,
Just
all right.
Okay.
Continuing on from Ubisoft, go ahead.
Continuing on. No, I'm done ranting about.
Oh, he's done. He's whole ass done. Okay.
Rainbow Six Siege announcement was dumb, and people are gonna pay $60 for it and be horribly disappointed, and I'm going to laugh at them because of that game.
I mean, that does fit into the Call of Duty crowd. Every year we release a game that has a campaign that's basically the same as the last one. Until they got into the last few games, that was really it. So it's World War insert number here, and you're doing X thing. Go do that. And that was the whole game.
Yeah, but nobody asked for a Rainbow Six Siege Horde mode.
Nobody ever asks for a horde mode. Everybody thinks that it's just cool to include nowadays, I feel like, honestly. It's a gimmick.
Yeah, but it's usually free, not $60 whole fucking dollars.
Hey, hang on. Point of order. Hey, hold up. Point of order. NV5. Don't have to say poop. You can say shit. Don't have a censorship.
World War V, now with grappling hooks.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay,
going
okay.
on. Next press conference that I'm just gonna say Xbox had an okay one. Like all they had to do was show that they had games and stuff to do, and they did that.
It's a game.
I felt like Poop said enough. Okay, so the difference between these things, Nelso, is that Doom Eternal is supposed to have smart enemies. That's it. That's the end of it. And the enemies spend more time running away from you than they actually do killing you in Doom Eternal. I'm sorry that you don't like other games that feature the exact same mechanics as Doom, but are not Doom because you don't like them. Every game is repetitive.
Just go play Dishonored.
If you want to play Warframe, it's just endless horde mode with low drop camps.
That's true, it is.
I may run out of done.
Don't fucking get me started on Warframe. They nerfed all my friends, so I really
Like Warframe.
It literally played like 10 minutes of Warframe. It was kind of fun, but didn't much past that.
Once you get the hang of the movement mechanics,
Yeah,
there's like
I mean-
a smoothness to gameplay. You just kind of sit there going,
until they nerf your shit, and then you just fucking quit.
What was the what was the
My
super
poor
fast
Mesa.
what's the super fast action game?
I know!
They nerfed Mesa, they nerfed Mirage, they nerfed
Is nothing broken anymore?
Banshee, they nerfed Banshee, who do I need to keep going?
Ages ago.
They nerfed Siren,
No!
Plague Frame, they got nerfed, Hero got readjusted, Chroma is a dead frame now because nobody uses him,
Yeah, that was sad.
to where he's awful, he wanted to keep going, Melee got a rework, so they
tried to buff Bonazar.
oh,
That was funny. It didn't work.
Melee got a rework to where they no longer had combos, and instead it's you just spam light attack, and then you cash out your heavy move equal to the amount of light attacks you spam, and that was done. They're also now doing Weapons 2.0 and Melee 3.0, and reworking a bunch of frames. The game is fucking hot garbage now. Moving
Well,
on
actually,
to...
like Melee 3.0, did they add
I missed the whole combo system because I used to just Necros farm all day. That was my gimmick. Galatine Prime plus Necros farming equals efficiency. But anyways, back to talking about Xbox. Obviously, the most exciting thing that happened was Halo multiplayer reveal and story reveal.
Yes.
Xbox just needed to show that they had stuff to show, and they did that.
The last conference that they had was so depressing because they had nothing and they walked out on stage like they had everything. It is the full I did not prepare anything for this group project, but I'm going to pretend that I did all the work.
I mean, Todd Howard came out on stage, I guess, if you care about that sort of thing, and talked for a minute.
Todd Howard!
time a game developer over a person came out on stage and I really appreciated was that time that Valve dude like DDoSed himself. Oh, that was so beautiful. Like, and we've got Steam Key, and here's my password and username. And like he was instantly locked out.
Okay, I'll click this link and see what happens.
Funnily enough, one of the more impressive showcases.
Okay.
All the indie games that were being announced, some of the low-key stuff looked kind of interesting.
Do not bring up Todd Howard.
Sony didn't have a press
Come on.
conference.
God damn. Alright, I saw the
Sony
chat.
didn't have a press conference.
I mean,
Or are they still doing their own thing?
they did really an advanced conference. They released a bunch of stuff prior. Like they had a full 15 minutes of Horizon Forbidden West, and a few other games that I don't really know if they went to. I didn't really see much about them at E3.
Because they just didn't care. So, and even then, like Blake said, the most impressive thing he saw was Horizon.
Horizon looks like it's gonna be fucking dope, but like I already knew that.
Unfortunately, no God of War announcement. Nintendo probably had the most impressive showing with everything Nintendo. Everything Nintendo was generally good besides Rayman Raving Rabbids. Random Total War remake is random.
New mechanics are better than grappling hooks. That is true. Yes.
I will fight you, sir. I will fight you.
Alright, so now I'm going to talk about the other thing that pissed me off all E3. Who I'm going to argue could have easily. It's either this person, this developer, or Ubisoft had the. What the fuck is going on in Square Enix right now? Okay?
Oh, hang on. I've got to pull a thing up and show you guys. I have to.
You had a 45-minute conference and 25 minutes of the Guardians of the Galaxy game nobody fucking asked for. On loop.
This is how me and Matt live each other. This is normal, honestly. We've been through the trenches together, okay? This
The
is
fuck? 45 minutes, and 2/3 of it, arguably, was spent on one game. One game nobody fucking asked for. Holy fucking shit.
You guys can see this one, right?
I can see it on chat, yeah.
Power Wash
Oh
So,
my God.
this is made by Square Enix. This is made by Square Enix.
No. This is a fake advertisement you get on YouTube when you're watching videos at like 1 in the morning because you have to get up for work at 5.
This is a real game. I have already seen an advertisement for it on Steam, and I got it because it was, quote, popular, unquote.
Wait, you sent me
This
this
is real.
joke like a
This is
week
fucking
ago.
real.
I thought
This is real.
Boys, we gotta play this.
It's in early access right now.
Is it half multiplayer, or will we all just be like sharing screens?
We're all sharing screens.
No. I told you, Blake, I don't want any other game that pops up that says simulator in it unless it has to do with concrete, okay? Because then I'll know exactly what
Power Oh, wow, that is a controversial opinion. Power Washer greater than Chrono Trigger. It might win the amount of awards. Yes, that is accurate.
I'm sorry. What's that statement again?
Read the chat. I don't want to say it again.
Me? No, you're just starting shit now. No.
Square Enix announced Power Wash Simulator at E3.
We would say that he's found our weakness, but our weakness is like just chucking it like something shiny. It doesn't have to be very shiny. It's like a dingy nickel. Oh, shiny.
You just have to be like keys dangling in front of your face, and you're like, I'm in.
Yes.
That's it.
Power Wash actually changed my life.
Oh, there we go. We've got a testimony.
All right. So I'm gonna turn the screen back off, but like I had to show that this was real. I had to let people know that this was real and that I wasn't making it up.
Was
Kane
You guys
changed
know
my
how-
life too, but you don't see me, bragging about it. All right, come on. Say it out loud.
It made me billions and turned me immortal. 11 out of 10. Replayability is shit though.
Got all Avengers game, guys. Remember how they did that really bad Avengers game?
Yeah, and now they're gonna do.
Now they're gonna do another one with the Guardians.
Well, the difference this time is it's single player, and they're not gonna make you pay for everything.
It
You-
has a choice system in it, where you can make choices that may or may not piss off your party members and determine how the rest of the game goes. Like
Hey,
Telltale games.
I'm sorry. Spaceship up. You tell me that the Guardians of the Galaxy game ads that I've been seeing for the past week is supposed to be a follow-up to that bullshit Avengers game?
Oh yeah, Black Panther's also getting added into Avengers, just in case anybody cares about that.
Yeah, Black Panther's thing is on PC.
And how they're throwing in the mechanics from Mass Effect. Something like
Mass Effect 2.
yeah, that's what I mean. You know what I mean. Throwing in the mechanics from that game and trying to make them work together, even though it makes zero goddamn sense whatsoever.
I mean,
Actually, now that I think about it, yes.
every game where you have a squad of people that are not always controlled by other human beings, you should have a system in place where they decide to not help you sometimes, because that makes sense.
They're pulling a Mass Effect.
But the highlights of this one is it doesn't have any of the stupid multiplayer mechanics. As far as I'm aware, until it was patched in, Avengers could not be played single player. It was impossible.
Yeah.
It's always sad when a game that should be single player on mobile. It's on mobile, right?
No, Avengers is actually on modern consoles. It's a next gen game basically.
It's that bad. They monetize skins, and that's just where you win. you gotta put the sword in the fire first.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire, Harry?
Put your face in the goblet of fire.
To quote the anime redo of the healer, this rod or this rod, make your choice.
We don't need to talk about porn right now.
Watch that.
I
Nobody
couldn't
go watch
hear
that anime,
anybody.
by the way. Anyways.
Do watch Goblin Slayer. Do not watch redo of Healer.
Yeah, go watch Goblin Slayer. You'll like it more. So Square Enix spent 25 minutes marketing this Guardians of the Galaxy game in their 45-minute conference. Nobody liked that.
I didn't see any of Slayer. Like, I got 5 minutes into it, and it's just kind of like, nope.
Redo of Healer makes the first episode of Goblin Slayer look like children's playground shit.
It's about a guy who was treated like shit his entire career being a hero, and he gets the chance to go back in time and get his revenge. Not fix it, get his revenge. I will show you a reaction video of the first 2 episodes later, Jim, when we're done with the stream.
Oh, please do, because that's something I've always enjoyed looking forward to. Reaction videos to Goblin Slayer.
I will DM that to you.
No, if you forget, that's fine. Yeah, no.
I actually do like Rising of the Shield Hero, if that's supposed to be trolling. Also, Rising of the Shield Hero was good.
Yeah, that was another. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to gentlemen, esteemed gentlemen of nerddom everywhere, I have a very important question to ask. Which one of you asked for a Final Fantasy 1 prequel?
Not me.
Which one of you did that?
You can blame me. Final Fantasy 1 was only fun the first time that I played it, and then it was never fun again.
Is Final Fantasy worth getting into?
I'm just confused how we are like how many years just now getting one.
Well, the fun part is I'm actually pretty sure from what we've seen of it that it's not going to be a prequel of what happens to Garland, but these 4 people, the 3 people that you are, and whoever is Garland on the inside of there are actually the 4 Warriors of Light.
We're getting a Final Fantasy 1 prequel. It's going to play like a From Software action game. Do you know what the name of that studio? Do you recognize the name of that studio?
Say again.
FromSoft.
Oh, fuck.
That's how that game's gonna play, Blake. Did nobody tell you that?
Nope, nobody told me that. It basically looked like a clone of 15, if I'm going to be honest, with a slightly readjusted combat system.
The slight readjustment is that it's gonna play like fucking Dark Souls.
Took the
We're getting a
system
Final
from
Fantasy Dark Souls game out of fucking nowhere.
Took the system from Dark Souls, the Final Fantasy skin on it, and made it capable. That's what you
Matt.
Original Final Fantasy game from the mid-80s, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's about right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if Blake asked for this, he asked for this, but like it's just such an obscure thing to ask for. I was confused as to where this came from.
I mean, it's not the worst thing that they could make. If they announced Kingdom Hearts 3.17896 with Dante from the Devil May Cry series, that would probably be the worst that they could do right now.
No, because Union Cross just ended, so everyone's riding that hype.
Final Fantasy .05 Dream Drop bullshit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I think that's essentially what this new Final... Like, they showed no new game, no news about 16.
They don't have any, if they don't have any news to share, they should not share anything, because that's ideally where it should be.
There was no news about when the other circuit is supposed to be getting Final Fantasy VII Part 1, because we were supposed to have already gotten that already. Granny's just like, fuck y'all. Yeah, I was supposed to be
Well, they had a 6-month contract on original stuff, but if you guys got it on Xbox and PC now, it would probably be the previous version, not the Intergrade version.
No, we were supposed to get Integrated a year after you guys.
No, you were supposed to get Final Fantasy VII Remake. Intergrade just came out like last week.
That's what I'm saying. We were supposed to... Okay, sorry. It's all blurring together. We weren't supposed to get the DLC yet. We were supposed to get Remake. When I say Part 1, I mean the entirety of the... We were supposed to have gotten that a year from the original launch date.
Well, no, it was open to being ported then. That didn't necessarily mean they were gonna port it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I hate these fucking... Just... Okay, cool. Great. Random things... What other random stuff was announced? I'm trying to think. What other random things were announced?
I mean, that's pretty much all that we got random-wise. There's not much more strong stuff to talk about. Again, Sony didn't do anything. They had their own press conference in advance, and they showed you all the cool shit that they were doing there. I mean, like, there's a Life is Strange remaster that's happening for next-gen consoles, but that's...
Oh yeah, the new Life is Strange game. I don't know. That was another one.
You can't take over the chat. I can see the chat, Jim.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. That's weird.
Yeah, I forgot. Life is Strange.
Wait, there. It's strange.
They're doing a remaster of the original game, which includes it and Life is Strange Before the Storm. And Life is Strange 2 already happened, and they've announced Life is Strange 3. They did that forever ago.
They showed gameplay.
Why?
Empath now. I don't know. They just
Can we say all we say with the first games?
It's not the same. It's not a continuation of the same story.
Random JRPG news of Shin Tensei 5 out of nowhere.
What?
Oh yeah, SMT. SMT's back, baby.
Yeah.
A new Shin Megami Tensei.
5.
To be fair, that was slated to come out this year anyway.
It's like Pokemon meets Persona. That's the best way I can
Oh,
describe it.
I know what Shin Megami Tensei is.
Okay, cool.
Just, I played Persona. It's... Alright,
So,
okay.
unfortunately, still no Persona 3 remake announcement. Whoa.
Yeah, good luck getting that. It took them an eternity of requesting that Persona 4 be ported so other people could play it. A literal eternity.
What else? No Yokai Watch game announced. No new Star Fox game announced. Rip. No new... Nothing. Nintendo... No new announcements from Nintendo's properties besides...
No good new Mario game announced either. So the best thing that you had out of that for big franchises was you had the Kazuya announcement for Smash Bros. Ultimate. You had the Metroid game and you had Breath of the Wild 2. That's everything.
Metroid is cool.
Metroid is cool.
I can get that reference.
Metroid
Metroid
is
is
frankly
pretty
fantastic.
cool.
Does anybody my place
In summary, E3 was carried by Nintendo.
Yes.
Anybody know what the plot of Metroid Dread is?
You had a very short trailer.
It takes place after Metroid Zero,
Okay.
and the mechanic in this one is series Space Federation robots that you can't destroy that are hunting you down, trying to murder you throughout the map. If they catch you, you immediately die. Good luck finding a way to destroy them, while also trying to stop what's going on in the space station. That is the too long didn't read.
Right.
These look like, if you've ever played Portal, imagine if Gladys could move like a xenomorph from Alien. That's the best way I can describe how they look. They are actually kind of terrifying to look at.
Excellent. I can get behind that. Yeah. Not.
There's no, you're running through the map and one see you and then just start chasing you, and then you have to figure out how to deal with it. So, Metroid's getting a Resident Evil style stalker mechanic, I guess?
So it's gonna be like the game when you were chased by a Metroid.
Alien Isolation meets Metroid.
Kinda. It's more, they're just there. I equate it to the Resident Evil stalker mechanic kind of thing. Because you don't really know if you're going to be allowed to fight back or not. You might just, like when you find Mr. X in the police department.
You can fight him, it's just not generally recommended.
Yeah, and plus you can stop Mr. X in the game
No,
for
you can't.
us.
As far as I know, you can't stop these robots.
Oh, there's a video game. There is a piece of terrain somewhere.
What?
There will be a glitch. Speedrunners will find it.
Oh, just like some of them have found for Village. There's one that I found that I really like in Village where you can throw a pipe bomb just as soon as you get through the kitchen area, and you can literally move straight past the entire upper section, pick up the mask from the roof, never pick up the sniper rifle, and cut out 30 minutes worth of game.
Yeah. Oh, damn, Envy. What did you do? Oh, wait. I don't want to know. Never mind. Okay. So, that was your closing arguments about E3?
Yeah, Nintendo carried the show.
It was disappointing, and Nintendo did all the hard work, but that's not abnormal.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Jesus.
So was the story that all the Americans were home for COVID and didn't do any work, all the Japanese were home for COVID and did work?
Oh, the Japanese didn't stay home. They never closed the country or anything.
Oh, okay, that explains.
Never, yeah.
So the crazy part there is they already wear masks all the time because they have really bad pollen there, and a lot of people have very bad reactions to it. So they were already prepared for pandemic lifestyle, and they just went on like normal.
That's not the smog or anything that's hanging. It's not the smog or anything that's hanging out in their air.
Oh no, that's China.
It's the pollen. Same difference. Have you seen,
The smog is in China, Jim. The smog is in China.
have you seen how tightly packed in they are in Japan? I would highly.
Wait, actually, I don't know that for sure about Chinese cities, but I'm sure it's true.
Japan, toothpick white and stab it through one of the eyes. Oh, not one toothpick. Two. Straight through the head.
All right.
That's how.
I think
Plus, it was more of like a purple. I know I've got lance somewhere that came with this guy. I know it did.
Oh,
I don't know where it is. Yeah, no, this is like one of my little.
Oh!
Yeah, you didn't. You did not see it?
No, I just remember something I'd forgotten. The whole reason I watched Evangelion was because I saw that scene. Which is like spoilers. But I saw it.
There.
This is well edited. This is thematic. And
All right, I'm out of conversation topics for this episode.
Yeah.
Everybody else, anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Well, Matt, you're the late arrival. Do you have anything that's kind of quick and easy to talk about, or you want to save it for next time?
So did you know? So the sinuses have a little flap that like does something, and you can take a nail, and magicians will do this: like take the tail and then put it in their nose and put it underneath the sinuses and tap it back into their skull.
Stop.
And that's how I walk.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did that as a kid.
That is coincidentally the same skin flap that they used to test you for COVID-19.
Yeah. Yeah. The nurse was explaining that to me. It was like, yeah, I'm gonna stick it in your side. He's like, yeah, I know how this works.
I'm worried about Matt.
Jim then dramatically proceeds to take a drag of his cigarette, contemplating the meaning of his existence as he goes, "This is where all my life decisions have led me to this moment. These assholes, talking about anime titties and sticking nails in their nose. God help me."
There's some shit in here that's extremely clippable. All right. I think
We'll let it hang further, but it's lit and I'm afraid now. So,
I think that's going to do it for us today.
This is awesome as fuck, yes.
We'll be having another episode not next week, but the week after. And it'll be
Are
the
we
same.
gonna stick with the every other week?
Probably. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds about right.
So we'll be booting up again 2 Sundays from now. And it'll be starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to join us. If you feel brave enough, we'll put the list of things that we're probably going to be discussing in the BatC-Podcast Discord channel that we have in our Discord. Again, link below, but maybe it'll join you into the phone call that we're on right now, which would be hilarious and cool, but not really what your game here for. So you can be prepared.
I would recommend showing it early just because of audio levels and make sure everything sounds good so everybody can hear it. We can't adjust them on the fly, but
It's better not to do that.
not adjust them on the fly, but
Everyone loves technical difficulties.
yeah, ain't they grand?
Beyond that, if anybody has anything they want to plug, go ahead. This is a good time to do it.
Start with Matt.
Twitch channel 7@1. Twitch. I have a YouTube channel that doesn't actually exist, so don't bother with that.
It's Matt.
Just go ahead and keep going down in order. So, Jim, go ahead.
Oh, me. Twitch.tv, Jim the Casual. Monday, I will be doing some random game. Right now, I'm leaning away from Mischief Monday yet again. I think I want to fire up either Mass Effect game or one of the Mass Effects, because I've got all 3, or some random other Steam game. I want to get out of the emulator. It's either that or I do Super Mario World because it was a viewer requested game. So I'm not sure yet. And no, I don't have the Legendary Collection for Mass Effect. I like the original games. I prefer them that way for right now. And then whatever. So Monday's going to be, it's completely fucking random. A game for about an hour and a half, and then we fire up Among Us. Oh, look forward to that. If you're in the Discord, you will get first dibs on a spot in the Among Us game. After that, we open it up and see what kind of random, possibly racist things we get in game, because that happened. Possibly. That happened last week.
Hey, sometimes you just get titties. Some days you get Black Sasuke 69.
Some days you get a person who says, I hate BLM.
And they get booted.
Real, they got booted almost immediately. And not kidding, that's an actual name that popped up in Among Us. And y'all just kind of took a moment just like, is that real? It's real. Also, apparently hacking Among Us is a thing.
Why?
That is a thing. That's why I stopped playing for a while. Like, no, it's going away. Team Fortress 2. No!
All right.
We kicked them out pretty good.
By the way, Jim, congratulations on 100 followers.
Sorry, what now?
Congratulations on 100 followers.
You got 100 followers?
Yep.
What?
Envy is your 100th follower.
Yeah.
What the heck? Thank you, Envy. Holy shit. I just gotta. Oh, fuck me running.
Well, let's not do that. Snipe,
Not literally.
do you have anything that you would like to plug, Swim Sniper?
Check out episode 0 of Senpai Sun about all the important things in life relating to anime and just general nerdom.
Or just rewatch the beginning first half of this episode where Blake just bitches at me and Snipe for a vid.
It's deserved.
It's completely as and you get a jail out of free card. No, seriously, like me and Snipe, I think we're kind of on the same page. I think we all kind of came to a reasonable conclusion about Evangelion today. Kind of. Or at least like a decent middle ground between all three of us, yeah? Kind of. Yes!
However, I've long since chosen my hill to die on, so...
You picked Evangelion?
Look, I need you to understand something.
Like, dude, there's better choices out
Oh, boys, we do not have time for this today.
Oh, I will put it this way. Ray and Asuka is the anime equivalent of the Aerith versus Tifa debate. Okay? Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. With all of that, thank you all for joining us today. This is going to be the end of our episode. This has been the Blake and the Casual podcast. You can catch Blake and the Casual Wednesdays at 5 p.m. on Twitch playing games. And we'll be back every other Sunday with more crazy podcast shenanigans. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch y'all next time.